Hello everyone and welcome to a special audition stream, or hopefully episode 1 of Pentiment. This is I know very little about this game. I saw some screenshots of it and a trailer, and there was some talk about it leading up to release, so I know, generally speaking, that it's a period piece mystery narrative game, but I have worked actually very hard not to know very much about it beyond that. So let's go ahead and check this out together and see how we feel about it. And if it passes this audition stream, I would look forward to playing it all the way through. Let's find out what Pentiment is all about. Also, if I am mispronouncing that, I'm sure that the game will correct me presently. Yes, new game. This game uses stylized fonts and reading effects that may be difficult for some readers. The Easy Read Fonts option improves legibility by disabling some fonts and writing effects. Let's try the stylized fonts. I want to try to engage with this game, as I do with all games, as thoroughly as I can based on what was intended by the developers. So let's go with stylized fonts. I bet we can change this later if we want to. Automatically saves. Got it. Okay, this feels awful. It's just destroying the script, but sure, let's... This is all, I'm holding A, by the way. I'm going to be very methodical about this. We're going to erase whatever somebody put a lot of effort into writing on this page with this stone. And, oops. Did I run out of time, or am I being fired? Because that's not what I was supposed to do. Hello to Caroluna. When we visited the title screen to make sure that it would show up on the streaming software, the music felt very loud, and now that we're going forward into what seems to be the opening sequence, I'm concerned that we notched it down a little bit too much, so I might turn that up a little bit once we get into the actual game. Yeah, Caroluna, hello to you, and I hope that you're having a great Saturday so far. And I agree with you, it is very awesome that they have that as an option. Okay, so there appears to not be voice acting, so Andreas here is saying, and the abbot said to me, Andreas? I don't want you distracting the sisters in the library. I need you to finish this commission by the end of April. Keep your conversations with Brother Piero. Now, that Piero is underlined. Can I or should I be able to click on that? I don't know. Well, we're an artist, so let's say I need you to finish this commission by the end of April. Beatrice is saying, isn't that much earlier than you were expecting? Yes, he had told me I had until the Ides of May. Oh, it got corrected, look at that. Asshole! And he's not going to pay you anymore, is he? He has no appreciation for the cost of your sweat. The yield of labor should not be measured in coin, but in personal satisfaction and self-improvement. Oh, that's Socrates, or Socrates, depending on who said it last. Hello to Maxine. Maxine, the option we were talking about was the Okay, so Caroluna likes the current volume, and Maxine was asking what option. There's an option to adjust how some of the fonts are shown if you find them difficult to read. I think we got that. Personal satisfaction doesn't put much food on the table, though, does it? Prester John asks, how did you reply to the abbot, Andreas? Get it done by the end of April. Now I don't remember when it was. When it would done they would be done when it was done sometime before the Ides of May. I shrugged and kept on working. I think that Andreas isn't going to be pushed around for the quality of his art, so it's going to be done sometime before the Ides of May. That's what I like to hear. What's he going to do? Find someone else to finish your work before May? Oh, I didn't even see Beatrice up there. Honestly, I thought she was like in the window of the building back there, and she's been there the whole time. It's true. Making enemies with the abbot may not be wise, but he needs your work. And the doing of the work is its own virtue, regardless of what the abbot may think. Despite the abbot's ire, you must endure. Soon you will finish both the abbot's work as well as your masterpiece. And then you will return to Nuremberg, where marriage and your new life as a master awaits you. So again, Nuremberg is underlined. There must be a way to interact with that. I am on controller. It seems super weird that I can't. Hold on. Interact. These are all keyboard controls. Margins is tab. Hold on. What if it's like the back button? Hold on. Okay. I mean, that does point to it. Nuremberg is a free imperial city of the Holy Roman Empire, major trade center, and city of arts, including printing. But that can't be... Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, because now you can read it much more clearly. All right. We'll see if that's the way to do it or not. Okay. Yes. Yes, marriage to someone he has never met. Hardly ideal. Well, the alternative is becoming a philosopher. Oh, Jesus, then you should definitely get married. Is she pretty at least? I like the small portrait they sent was lovely, but we artists can be flatterers. It is growing late. The wheel of time stops for no man, Andreas. I fear you must leave us. Ah, true, your majesty. Will you visit us again soon? I feel like as an artist, he's going to have many places that he would want to dream about. Of course, if you are not here tomorrow night, I pray you will be some places pleasant. Grobian, please see Andreas safely home. Of course, your majesty. Until next time, Andreas. Until next time, your majesty. So I think Andreas is me. Pay no mind to the other fools, Andreas. I never do. Even though they're very loud and annoying. Ow! At least I would if they'd stop stepping on my feet. Watch where you're going. Haha, they're fools, Andreas. No point in trying to teach them anything. I know old John wants you to endure the abbot shit, but since I take you home, I get the last word. Don't let him run you ragged, boy. So I feel like we have established that the abbot can't push me around. Yeah, no, we're gonna go with this. That's what I like to hear. Okay, I just got my foot stepped on again. It rumbled the controller. Kick him in the back. Would you please stop? I give up. Take me home, Grobian. As you wish, Andreas. Andreas is getting beaten up in his own dream. Hello to Grumpy. Good morning, Ursula. Ursula's script is very primitive. Goom under. Time to get up. Oh no, am I gonna have to remember that this starts in 1518? Because I'm gonna forget that. A few more pages back to the abbey. Well, I'm not going to bed. I've had enough of that. The Picatrix, Key of Solomon, the Heptameron. Prior Fenric keeps giving me all of these books to read. Now, hold on. Can I read about Prior Fenric? Or is it too late? There has got to be a better way to look at this. Okay, maybe this is Fenric down here? Because right now I don't seem to have a definition for Fenric. I really should clean this up. Well, no time like the present, sir. You got dressed already. Wait, what's my quest? Prime hour 6. Another day, another few pages for the abbot, and hopefully a few for myself. I need to get across town and head up to the abbey so I can start work at the scriptorium. I like the fact that there's like... You can see the words or the letters where they refresh the pen, the quill that they were writing with. Jab is here and in-a-game crafting. Did I say hello to Grumpy? I hope I did. We're not going to bed. Gertner House. And this is apparently in, I think, Germany. I'm going to mispronounce so much, and I apologize. There's no up and down movement at all. Like the double dragon, nothing like that. Good morning, Andreas. Did you sleep well? Let's go with quite well, actually. Even if he didn't, there's no reason to, you know, offload on that on her. Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. Anyway, I know you'll be off to the abbey, so I packed you some food. Almonds, cheese, and some of the rye you like from the Albans. Otto wanted me to... Is this going to change into ask? It does. Hold on. Can I learn about Otto? Zoom? Yeah, I think it shows us a picture of Otto. I think that's what that is. I'm going to check in the controls again to see if there's a faster way to be able to look at that. Otto wanted me to ask you to join him at the for dinner at the Abbey. Otto stopped by. Yes, around dawn. I can't move yet, so she's getting something for us. Here you are, Andreas. So I don't know about, like, the customs of the time. The nod might be more appropriate. But I'm gonna say, is it really too kind of her? That feels like a little bit much. Screw it. I'd rather be too nice than not nice enough. Master Andreas, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, could we... Would it be too much trouble if you paid next month's rent today? And if we raised it by 2... Okay, so again, groschen. So, let me just look at this. This is on console, like, so I do feel like we've got... Journal close. There's a mini game of some kind. Yeah, it looks like in order to get to the margins, you have to go back. So groschen, a type of thick silver coin minted throughout the Holy Roman Empire. Groschen are typically worth 12 pfennigs, but may be minted at different values. I hate to ask, but we're behind on our taxes to the Abbey. 2 months behind. Peter's losing his hair over it, even more than usual, I mean. Okay, so Peter is that fellow with the odd hat. So it's not going to be any problem. So usually not a fan of, like, surprise... Wait, can I read this? I'm not sure how to respond to this. Rent wasn't due until the beginning of May. Oh, look, our mind people are here. So Beatrix is saying, be generous, you can spare the money. So if I can spare the money, we might as well. If he's better off than they are, and they're showing him a kindness by letting him stay here, then he should pay something that's comfortable for him. You must take the consequences of inaction into account. What is this shit? Don't they pay taxes every year? Why is this falling on you to fix? Well, I don't know. I'd rather be too nice and too generous. So, on the other hand, she might think she can keep asking me for advances on rent. So, I do feel like it's no problem at all is inviting additional surprise increases. So I suppose that's not out of the question. Yes, I think I can manage that. She gets what she wants, but there's like the air of like, this seems kind of uncool. We're so grateful, truly, Andreas. I apologize for asking. Apologize again for asking. It's just awful to be stuck in such a position. Our taxes get harder to pay every year. Peter works hard, but it just never seems like it's enough. I like the corrections. That's such a fun little detail. Saint Luke, bless you for helping us out. Okay, so Saint Luke is a Christian evangelist and patron saint of arts and physicians, often represented by a winged bull. The winged bull is not shown here. Speaking of Saint Luke, how is your masterpiece coming along? It's been 2 months now, hasn't it? Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Slowly, I'm afraid. Most of my days are spent doing work for the abbey. It's only during the divine office that Prior Ference allows me to work on my masterpiece. Okay, so I do need to know about divine office. The prayer times observed by all Christian monastic orders, monks and nuns pray together 7 times a day and once at night, as dictated by the rule of Saint Benedict. A reasonable restriction, but slow going. A city council doesn't require to become a master. I'm making it mostly to show clients and for my own sake. You know something that I'm noticing? Let's pay attention to this. When Andreas speaks, his lettering doesn't have like those darker portions the way that the others do. It seems very much more consistent in its presentation. And yes, when I do finish, I will go back to Nuremberg while I will marry and open a workshop of my own. From Nuremberg to a university and now traveling the world as an artist. What a life you have ahead of you, Master Andreas. Yes, I suppose it does feel like I'm starting a new chapter in my life after... I'm going to say, as an artist, I like wondering whether or not it's true. I do feel like it's what is the way that he would stylize any missteps or too much fun. It must be rather frightening starting all over again. It is, but I know now that this is what I want to do. Not many people get to decide that. Certainly not anyone in Tassing. Anyway, I don't know anything about art, but I've seen you sketching such beautiful things in your little book. Your masterpiece must be wonderful. So, again, I'm sort of thinking about, like, I know one thing, I know a couple things about this guy. A, artist. B, works at the Abbey. C, kind of a younger guy. 3, or 4, it doesn't seem like money is that much of a concern for him for right now, since one of his options was like, oh yeah, rent increase, no problem. If I know anything about artists, and this is true of every artist I've ever interacted with, anyone who partakes in any sort of creative art, they're never happy with it. No, they never say, this is my greatest work. I know that that's like a thing, but no, it's getting there is the best that I think that we'd get out of him. Hard work will get you all the way. That's what my father used to say. God rest his soul. Now, I have to get back to my own work. Have a good day at the Abbey, Andreas, and we'll see you after Vespers for supper. Okay, let's learn about Vespers. Monastic hour at dusk, one of the major prayer hours. It is followed by supper. Not tonight, but thank you. Klaus Drucker invited me over for supper. Oh, of course. Please say hello to the Druckers for us. Of course. Until later, Clara. It's probably Clara, but can I talk to... So, this is Eva, right? Yes. Hello, Andreas. Oh, she doesn't have anything to say. I guess she got her cash, so it's fine now. Hello, Clara. Can you spare a moment to chat? Of course, Andreas. How can I help? Well, no, we're already helping with the tax troubles. How exactly much short are you? Oh, well, about 2 guldens worth. Gold coins used as currency throughout the Holy Roman Empire. Though different standards exist for the gulden in different regions, it is generally equivalent to the Florentine florin. Okay, so like it's a money. It's one money. They're short 2 monies. If you can't pay your rent early, that's all right. I'm sure we can find some way to pay the abbot. Yeah, well, let's stick with, well, you know, I'll have my payment for you. I was merely curious. Ah, I see. Peter's too proud of a man to ask for charity when there's still ground to till. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked you about rent in the first place. You're young and have your own life ahead. Oh, no, we already agreed to it. We're not taking it back now. So, I'm happy to pay early, Clara. You've been good host to me, and I can do without more than your family. Bless you, Andreas. Don't mention this to Peter, all right? He would hate to know I told you about our troubles. Oh, and they filled in a god at the start of it. Don't mention this to Peter. Yeah, so let's just keep it to ourselves. Thank you, Andreas. Until later, Clara. Now, it's possible that she's running a bit of a scam on us. Like, I don't know this lady. I met her 5 minutes ago. He seems to know her and seems to hold her in pretty high regard. It's possible that she's squirreling away money to, like, keep away from her drunkard husband, or that women aren't allowed to have money. Like, I don't know very much about this area and this, like, time period. So the fact that she's asking us to keep it quiet, we're going to do that, but I'm just noting that there could be a couple different reasons why she doesn't want us to know about it. Okay, let's talk to Peter, but not about that. Andreas? Oh, it's ill Peter. He's not as good as regular Peter. Or he's not as well as regular Peter.
God bless you,
Andreas.
Oh, yes, Andreas. This weather's been awful. This town's gone to shit since my days.
God awful. Yeah, this guy seems... Let's have a chat. Were things much different in your day?
As different as beer and piss. The old abbot didn't bother us much about our customs. He didn't mind if we left a little offering to to keep the skies clear and the weather fair.
So, maybe Perkta? I don't know. Pagan goddess of the Alps associated with animals and spinning wool. She is still invoked by some Christians in Austria, Switzerland, Bavaria, and Swabia. So, wait, I'm sorry. Like, when it says she is still invoked, is that modern day for the game, or is that modern day 2022 or whenever this came out?
Matthias knew that...
Hold on, we gotta wait for that word to...
Christ was in our hearts, even if the white lady's name was on our lips.
I am not going to chide ill Peter over his observances of pagan gods. And what do we know about Saint Moritz? Saint Moritz is the patron saint of Tassing. Legend states he was the Egyptian board commander of a Roman legion who converted to Christianity. They were all martyred for their faith. His hand is a relic in the Kirsau shrine. Let's ask him about the old customs.
The kind that scare away witches and keep spirits from calling storm clouds over our farms. The saints weren't the first to watch over Tassing. My father knew that. Old Renning Kemper knew that.
Rennig Kemper, the late husband of Otilla?
That bastard abbot may not like it, but some of us keep the traditions alive.
Well, we just learned about Ottilia. I want to learn more about the traditions, though.
When you get up in the night to take a piss, go around to the right side of the house and never go back the same way. That way the witches don't
steal your soul. How did they work out that that's how the souls are stolen? How interesting. I should go.
All right, God bless you.
All right. So, for no good reason, oops. Big Jorg says,
Morning, Andreas.
Morning, Big Jorg. I guess, I wonder if there's a little Jorg around. How's it going? You working today?
We're just taking a rest for a bit. Tad's still in the field. He hit a big rock with the plow, and it took me, Lord knows how long to pull it out. You off to the abbey?
Every day but Sunday.
Right. Thank God for Sundays. Smells like a storm's coming, no?
Huh? Just smells like fresh alpine air to me.
You've been traveling too much. Where was it that you spent your Wanderhaar before you came to Tassing?
We need somebody who speaks German in our community. Like, I'd love to know more about some of these words. Wandering years, during which a journeyman, artist, or craftsman travels far and wide to improve their skills. Okay, so where do we think that we came from? Andreas knows some Italian and French and can reference cultural touchstones from Basel and nearby Bern, Zurich, and Freiburg. The Low Countries, some Dutch and French, and cultural touchstones from Antwerp, Bruges. Guys, I'm gonna be so sorry about the pronunciation failures. And Ghent, or Italy. Andreas knows Italian, a little Greek, and can reference cultural touchstones from Florence, Venice, and Milan. So I would kind of want to do this just because we know a few different people who are from, like, that area of the world, like people in chat. So, like, I feel like this would be more rewarding for people. And, like, I personally don't have any particular thoughts here, so let's go to the Low Countries. Oh, press and hold. Antwerp, Bruges, and Ghent, all the great art cities of Flanders.
Where's that?
North and west, down by the sea.
There's your problem. The sea air has confused your sense of smell. Spend enough time in the mountains and you'll be able to smell a storm coming.
How long will that take?
10, 15 years?
I don't think I have that long, Big Jorg.
What did you spend all that time in Flanders doing anyway? Other than art, I mean.
Ooh, we get to choose some more background. Hedonist. Andreas seeks out pleasure wherever he goes. He is extremely social and quite experienced in all the enjoyable vices of the world. I do like that one immediately. Craftsman. Lives to work and dedicates all his time to art. Bookworm spends all of his non-working free time finding and reading as many books as he possibly can. Rapscallion, a penchant for getting involved in petty schemes, pranks, minor crimes, and fistfights, or businessman. Andreas devotes much of his time to self-promotion, optimizing business expenses, making investments, and balancing his books. So I don't want to do businessman. That doesn't sound interesting at all. I kind of wanted to do hedonist. Like, I like the idea that Andreas is going to be somebody who is just naturally extremely creative, and that a lot of that creative spark comes from just enjoying everything that life has to offer. So we're going to go with this. Cue women laughing. Flemish women are beautiful, and the beer's wonderful. What do you think I spent my time doing?
Sounds like fun, but you better not let Father Thomas hear about it.
Okay, so there's Father Thomas. He wears that hat. Why not? Priests tell us to emulate the lives of the saints. I revere St. Augustine, who said, Lord, make me chaste, but not yet.
If you say so, Andreas, I still think you're gonna get in trouble with Father Thomas.
Jorg!
Anyway, I gotta get going.
Jorg! Let's go!
Dad's already acting like I'm taking too long, even though I did all the work to get that rock out. See you later, Andreas.
Until later. So I guess left is the way. What I started to say before Big Jorg showed up was I was assuming the abbey was to the right. So, oh, we are blocked by sheep. We can't go that way. We start counting and immediately fall asleep.
Oh, Andreas, good timing. Do you have a moment to lend me a hand?
Of course. Why not? Why wouldn't we?
Wonderful. I've got too many irons in the fire. Or rather, horseshoes. I miscounted how many I put in. Now I need a hand or else they'll overheat, and I won't be able to work the metal. Here, take the shoe into the tongs. Put the hot part of the shoe on the anvil, and I'll hit it with the hammer.
Whoops. Press.
Good. On to the next one.
Turns out I'm really good at making horseshoes.
Oh, well done. See? Short work. Thanks for the help, Andreas. I don't know what I was thinking doing all of those at once. 4.
Wait, wasn't it only 2? Anyway.
It sure would be nice to have someone to help me out here every day.
How about an apprentice?
I have. None of the boys in the village seem interested.
Keep at them. I bet you could get Bert Drucker, that little kid wearing that hat.
Ha! Klaus would have my head if I tried.
Right, there's Klaus. Fancy mustache.
Anyway, I don't want to take any more of your time. I'll see you on Otto up by the Abbey guest house for dinner.
Until then. Okay, so I think we're still heading left. I'm wrong every time. Martin, please, can you give me a hand here?
What do you want? I'm keeping an eye on him.
That looks a lot like standing there and doing nothing. Martin, for Christ's sake, help your cousin. Morning, Andreas. Excuse us. One of the fence rails fell and the sheep started hopping it. I'd like to help. Well, let's read his thoughts. Should I offer to help? Oh, so Beatrice doesn't say anything here? I wonder if when we adhered to her thoughts last time, I wonder if it's got to be like an even mix. So helping others also helps us. It allows us to feel useful and take satisfaction in our work, which is like what I'd want to do. Yeah, no, I want to do what Socrates says. Then again, I don't know anything about sheep, and I'd probably just get in their way. But I want to help. Have you ever handled sheep before? No. Then no, but thank you, Christian of you to offer. Oh, look, there's something going on up at the Steinhauser's place.
Who's that on the horse? Looks rich.
I don't know, Martin, but Lucky's going to give him an earful. God or Lord? Christ! I haven't seen Lucky that works up since Peter and Clara's wedding when Johann pulled his pants down. So Clara is that lady. Oh, right, we know Clara. We just negotiated rent with her. And then there's Peter and Johann. Johann has a different hat. Caroluna is dropping a lurk. Caroluna, thank you so much for the lurk. Knock 2 of my man's teeth out. You don't want to feel the strength behind a stonemason's anger. Do you think he's a noble? He looks really rich. God damn it. Yeah, god damn it, Martin. Stay out of trouble for once. What on Hetty? What on Hetty? Behave yourself. Don't we have enough to deal with right now? Andreas, if you wouldn't mind moving your skinny little body up the road, we need to get these sheep under control. Of course, see you later. Yeah, help your aunt and cousin. I feel like this is none of my business, but also... Eat shit, Andreas! Okay, so I'm betting we can't go any further down this way because blocked by sheep. Yes, okay. Oh, and you can press up to go up here. So that's Church and Druckers, but that also... We're heading to the Abbey, and what I don't know right at the moment is the Abbey a physically separate product than the church? I kind of don't think so. Ender Schmidt's smithy. It's so much smaller than the one he used at the Abbey. Okay. And then this would be back to the Gertner farm. And I can't go down there. It wouldn't make any sense to me if the, like, Abbey and church were in different directions, but, you know, we'll look. So, yeah, this is interesting. I wonder why it came up like that first time. Morning, Andreas. How's it going? Morning, Klaus. Another day at the Abbey, another few hours to work on my masterpiece. Good to hear. You still coming by for supper tonight? Marie and Bert would love to see you. So, his script suddenly comes up much different. More like Andreas's, which is curious. And Marie is... Oh, we're going to recognize Marie. You really need to get to see these new woodcuts I have for an Italian edition of Till Eulenspiegel, a titular character of a popular 15th century book. Till is a prankster, continually exposing the vices and hypocrisy of others. He's also quite skilled at tricking people into smelling, touching, or eating his excrement. Oh, I don't think that I want to make Till's acquaintance. I didn't realize Father Thomas let you print books in Italian. Come on, Andreas. He's not that strict. I know he's just trying to protect people from... I feel like this is an unnecessary dig. Your sloppy typesetting. Adventure stories of questionable moral repute.
He doesn't mind those so much, actually.
No?
As long as they don't get too, carnal.
Oh.
So, supper tonight after Vespers?
Yes.
Great. I'll tell Marie and Bert you're coming. See you then.
See you later. So, I guess we come back here. Like, it's locked now, but we'll be able to stop by tonight. God bless. God bless, Master Mailer. I hope your week is going well. Thank you, Father. It's going quite well. I'm just on my way up the hill to get to work. Good, good. Andreas, I don't recall seeing you at Sunday morning Mass. You understand how important it is for your salvation that you receive Holy Communion, don't you? I just stayed up too late on Saturday. I don't want to get into an argument with him about this. But he doesn't want to go to church. A man has many duties. Father Thomas should appreciate how hard you work to help the Abbey. I like that. Yeah, no, I like Socrates here. Almost everyone in town works hard, though. I'm gonna say this, like, I don't want to, like, passive-aggressively, sigh. Jab is saying this is not for him. The animal noises are driving him crazy. They may die down as we move further away, but if you're headed off to do more crafting, Jab, thank you so much for hanging out. I'm going to say working on sketches. Andreas, this is about more than your success in life. There is another... Oh my, what a blessed day to receive such an illustrious visitor. Master Mailer, this is Lorenz, Baron of Rothvogel, a great lord from the countryside near Worms. Worms is a prosperous imperial free city in the western part of the empire, located on the Rhine River. Worms has been the site of many imperial diets. What does that mean? Many imperial diets, okay.
Good to see you, Father Thomas. It is nice to be remembered fondly. I only wish all of your neighbors were as welcoming.
Well, yes.
What brings you back to our little town? My wife and I were returning from a trip to Venice. We spent a few days in Innsbruck and was terribly dull.
So Venice, one of the most powerful republics on the Italian peninsula, sitting on the northwest coast of the Adriatic Sea. Venice is a major center for commerce and art in southern Europe. Innsbruck, which I know less about, capital of the Austrian county of Tyrol, and a major stop on the Imperial Road connecting Italy and Bavaria. It is the closest major city to Kirsau Abbey and Tassing. Notably, it was also the site of the witch trials in 1485.
I mean, it has a certain charm common to these alpine cities, but the place was crawling with nobles for the emperor's diet.
Yes, diet. I want the definition of this. An imperial diet is an assembly of 3 colleges of the imperial states of the Holy Roman Empire, the prince-electors, the princes and dukes, and the representatives of the imperial cities. They meet to deliberate on matters of importance to the empire. So this sounds sort of like in Japan, I want to say... Diet is like a major political party or like ruling governmental force. We got a definition of it before and now I've promptly forgotten it again. But so diet is used in sort of a, I mean, it says it right there. It's a sort of a conclave of different political interests coming together to negotiate. Oh, and Jab is watching a VOD of Midnight Suns. Well, I hope you have fun with that. We made some more story progress in the latest DLC recently. That's the most recent episode.
The Emperor? Was he there? Did you see him? Oh, briefly, but he was sitting for a portrait at the time. Quite lovely. I didn't want to bother him or the painter.
Why was the diet assembled?
Oh, nothing you need to worry about. Austrian things, Habsburg things. Boring even for the nobles. Anyway, my wife wanted to stay a bit longer in Innsbruck, and I decided to ride ahead to make a visit to Kirsau. I heard Father Matthias died shortly after my last visit, of course.
The abbot of Kirsau before Father Gernot, widely respected by the monks and nuns as well as the people of Tassing, known for his kindness and his love of books.
A great loss for the Abbey, and for us all.
Whoever does the script tends to, like, mess up the first B in Abbey.
Indeed. By good fortune, I recently came across a copy of the Historia Tasfei he was reading during my last visit.
An account of the early history of Tassing. Kirsau's previous abbot, Father Matthias, had a copy. Baron Rothvogel brought another to the abbey as a gift.
Father Matthias was hoping to find a second copy to corroborate the contents of the first. It contains some fascinating details about the history of this place. I'm afraid they might even cause a bit of a scandal. Yes, But I must be off. There will be time enough to discuss Tassing's past later. I commissioned a manuscript from the abbey through Father Gernot, and I have come to check on its progress.
So that's the current abbot, yeah?
Oh, my lord, if you have come to see your manuscript, you should speak with young Master Mailer here.
Let's not introduce Andreas as being, like, not good at his job. It's an honor to meet you.
Andreas is a journeyman artist from Nuremberg. For the next few months, he's also helping in the abbey's scriptorium,
which is a room for writing, illustrating, and illuminating manuscripts. Though typically associated with monasteries, they have disappeared from almost all abbeys by the 16th century. I wonder why.
A Nuremberger artist working in an abbey scriptorium in 1518? Oh, we should talk, Andreas. I must know the story.
I kind of like big-timing this guy a little bit. Like, well, I am awfully busy, but I guess we could.
Of course it is. I'll have a word with the abbot if he makes a fuss. And if he still makes a fuss, I'll have a word with the Prince Bishop of Fressing, a good friend of mine.
Religious and secular ruler of the scattered territories in the Holy Roman Empire, including the lands containing Tassing and Kirsau Abbey.
Thank you for the introduction, Father.
Okay, I was going to say, is his name actually Tomac?
Come to supper at the abbey tonight. I'm inviting you to the abbot's table.
Did the abbot invite me?
Oh, don't worry about it, Father. Just show up after Vespers. What's he going to do, refuse us? Excellent. We shall see you then. Niklaus, I'm dismounting. Run ahead of us and take the horses to the abbey's guest house. I'd like to take my time talking with Master Mailer. I'll meet you there.
At once, my lord.
So then, a journeyman from Nuremberg. Forgive me for saying so, but you seem a little old to not yet be a master. Are you unmarried?
No, I'm not married, but in truth I came to my vocation later than my father and brothers. I was in university for a number of years at Erfurt. Erfurt is one of the most populous cities in the empire and is located near its heart. It's been home to a respected university since 1379 and is a center for humanist thought.
Erfurt, wonderful. The same university as Martin Luther. Have you read his works? Tremendous mind.
So, I'm a pretty big idiot, but Martin Luther sounds familiar to me. Priest and professor of theology at the University of Wittenberg, controversial for his opinions on the church's sale of indulgences to forgive sin, which were recently published and distributed throughout the empire.
He says things about the church that should have been said years ago. Might get him into trouble, but he's a brave, brilliant man. Wait, you may have even met him. Did you? You must tell me.
No, he was a few years ahead of me. So I guess the question is Andreas himself religious? Like, if we've defined him as a hedonist, the trouble is, I don't know if this means that he's pro-Lutheran or anti, and I'm gonna say that he wouldn't like the church selling indulgences. Basically, the idea of selling religious rectitude, morality in exchange for cash. That sucks. So I would say that he's more likely to be pro-Lutheran. So to the extent that he's religious at all, his ideas do seem fascinating.
I agree wholeheartedly. I simply must meet him if I get the chance. I wonder if the good brothers of the Abbey have heard of him. Perhaps they have even read his list of 95 theses against the church.
Oh, I didn't read it. Sorry, I meant to press back.
Father Matthias was not above having a lively debate. I hope Father Gernot does not disappoint in that regard. But enough about Luther for now. Tell me about your university studies.
I feel like this is a more constructive question, asking the Baron about himself.
Ah, no, my family is merely wealthy enough to have provided me with all of the books and tutors a child could dream of. I love all knowledge, from Aristotle to Cicero and Ficino and Aramus. And everyone in between, and yet to come.
Okay, I'm going to say that I probably know who Aristotle is, or at least I've heard of him. Cicero was a statesman, scholar, and lawyer. Ficino was a 15th century Italian priest and humanist, and Erasmus of Rotterdam, a Dutch priest and philosopher who is preeminent among northern humanists. He's known for his works in Latin and Greek, as well as his calls for reform within the church. I may have misjudged the Baron. It seems he is as well-read as any university student. So, wait, am I thinking this to myself? Yeah, because it doesn't have the little line down to his head, like a speech bubble.
In truth, I'm simply happy to speak with another well-educated man. Now then, did you earn your doctorate?
Okay, so the fact that the script gets overwritten there, that's not like a button that I pushed. I only pushed A. So something just changed for Andreas and or his understanding of Lorenz. That's weird. No, I didn't. Only a master's degree. I started working towards a doctorate but didn't finish. Yeah, so the style of the script plainly communicates something about either Andreas's understanding of the other characters or the way they're communicating to him, because now Lorenz speaks the same way that Andreas does.
Oh, that's a shame. What was your area of study?
Andreas has a strong understanding of Catholic theology, biblical knowledge, canon law, heresies, and similar subjects. Knows the basics of the fractured systems of laws that govern the various states of the Holy Roman Empire, or medicine. Familiar with the basics of human biology, medicine, and illness. I feel like medicine is the most interesting. I'm gonna go with Imperial Law. Just because I don't know anything about this, like, at all. So maybe if Andreas knows a lot about it, I'll learn something by proxy. Oh, Mia! Mia, thank you so much for the shout-outs. Law. I suppose I thought I could practice in Nuremberg.
I never had much interest in the subject, honestly. A bit dull for my taste. Besides, the Empire is such a mess of jurisdictions, Bavarian law, Rhenish law, Franconian law. Nonsense. I'd rather use my money to pay someone who studied the nonsense than learn it myself. You! If I had any faith, I would have prayed you'd never show your face here again.
So I'm guessing that she's talking to me.
Curse you, Lorenz.
Oh, no, she's not.
Curse you, Lorenz Rothvogel.
Perktas.
Dogs tearing you to pieces would be too kind of a fate.
Just comes up the path to, like, insult. And hello to Hickey.
These rustic communities display a shocking lack of hospitality, don't you think?
So again, as a hedonist, I think that Andreas would be more forthright about asking what was that about.
Who knows?
Sorry, I'm doing the wrong voice now.
By the time I finish guessing, the old crone would probably be dead. ... Well, what of your early time in the university? Every student must study the trivium and quadrivium, right? Yes?
The trivium and quadrivium represent the lower and upper divisions of the classical liberal arts university education. Latin, grammar, logic, Latin grammar, logic, and rhetoric form the trivium. Arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy form the quadrivium. Did you have a favorite subject? I am making a lot of choices about this guy. A strong command of the Latin grammar and vocabulary. He can also easily recall centenae antiquae, quoted words of wisdom from the Roman Republic and Empire. Instinctively thinks through the implications of information as he receives it, is adept at spatial analysis, and can easily perform complicated calculations in his head. So I feel like that's where I'd want to go. Except that rhetoric, he's a skilled teacher, persuader, and public speaker. Occultist, knows a soul-endangering amount of theoretical and practical knowledge on alchemy, astrology, theurgy, necromancy, and various magical rites and ceremonies, or heavens and earth, a great deal about the constellations, heavenly bodies, and their movement. He's also familiar with various plants and animals from study and personal experience. I'm going to go with orator. I feel like I personally would want to do this, but I like to do something different with the character, so he's going to be a very good speaker. The art of persuasion, naturally. Rhetoric.
I assume you studied the Greeks and Romans both.
Yes, Aristotle and Cicero, of course, but also Christian thinkers like Augustine and Thomas Aquinas, who I think are all saints, aren't they? Thomas Aquinas, an immensely influential philosopher and theologian and jurist in this tradition of scholasticism. And Augustine of Hippo was an early Christian philosopher, theologian, and bishop of Hippo Regius. He is recognized as a doctor of the church and is most known for his works, The City of God, and his autobiographic Confessions, as well as the development of the doctrine of original sin.
True, we have less use for public discourse than the senators did in the Roman Republic.
Exactly. The doctors of the church weren't trying to persuade politicians, but to move the mind towards Christian truth. Still, the principles remain the same. Invent your arguments, then arrange, style, and internalize them before delivering them to your audience.
Splendid! Though I suppose an artist has little use for rhetoric, especially in a place such as this.
Not true. Rhetoric is also an art, and like other forms of art, it should be created for the audience and its purpose. It can be practiced as easily in the streets of a rural town as in the Curia of Rome. So Rome is like a city, right? Or an empire. Though outshone by its northern neighbor Florence, Rome is still the seat of power for the Catholic Church and an impressive center for the arts.
Well put. And your other studies, was there anything else you excelled at?
Oh, we get to choose a minor. I'm gonna go with occultist. Like, again, I'm thinking about, like, Andreas is somebody who's probably a very skilled, like, artist or crafter, but also he's a little bit like Bill Murray, where it's a little bit of, like, a dodge, and he's very good at talking his way out of situations and studying things that he finds interesting, rather than things that are, like, necessarily of use. He's not in it to make money. So I guess actually the opposite of Bill Murray in Ghostbusters. Yeah, he's going to think that occultism is cool. I use my access to the university's library to pursue more esoteric interests.
Oh? Esoteric how? I assume that's going to be a W.
Mystical texts. Books on alchemy, invoking spirits, divination. Purely academic, of course.
Oh, of course.
I started with Ficino's Corpus Hermeticum, and my interest only deepened from there. That was a compilation of 17 religious and philosophical treatises encompassing the soteriology of Hermes Trismegistus, or Thrice Great Hermes. The centuries-old texts reflect Egyptian, Greek, and Jewish traditions and ideas that were translated into Latin in the late 15th century by Marsilio Ficino, and Lodovico Lazzarelli.
Quite interesting, Andreas. I'll make some time to speak with you more on this topic during my stay.
I'll look forward to it.
Ah, there's the abbey. I have good memories of this place and of Father Matthias. I was sad to hear of his passing.
How did you come to know him? How did you come to know of Curacao at all? Curacao.
Oh, my family have been patrons of Curacao for, I don't know how many generations. Some years ago, I heard that Curacao had a wonderful library and artisans. Professional artists have taken over most manuscript production, so I was shocked to find an active scriptorium here.
Okay, so that explains the question that I had before. If artists are now doing all the manuscript production, that's why all the scriptoriums would be shutting down. I like the artists that remain here are quite talented, if a bit old-fashioned.
Well, Curacao is more than a bit old-fashioned. Some of my friends think I'm mad for commissioning a manuscript from an abbey in this day and age. But, well, my family have been patrons of Curacao for generations. It seems wrong to stop now while there's still talent here. I commissioned a manuscript to Father Gernot a year ago. I thought I would stop by and check on the progress. Wait, are you the artist working on it? It's a prayer book with 20 illustrations.
I know the work, but no, I do know the artist well, the Venerable Brother Piero. That guy. Vulnerable is his middle name. Sorry, Venerable.
How venerable?
He still has his wits and his skills, if that's what concerns you. Brother Piero had an incredible talent with color.
Then I look very much forward to seeing it.
I think we just did character creation.
Miklaus, tend to the horses and the baggage. I'm heading up to the abbey.
Yes, my lord.
Well, let's not keep the abbot waiting any longer. Nuns. Quite unusual for a Benedictine house to have monks and nuns, even if they are separated.
Founded in the 6th century, the Benedictines are a Christian monastic order that observes vows of obedience, poverty, chastity, and stability under the rule of Saint Benedict of Nursia.
The church closed most of them centuries ago. But then, Curacao is a place out of time in more ways than one.
I feel like she seemed to recognize you, is reading a lot into what was a sort of like glance over. For all I know, she was glowering at me. So I'm just going to ask why they were closed.
Monks and nuns living side by side cannot behave themselves. I don't blame them, though. The church shouldn't either. It's just human nature after all. Ah, you must be Father Gernot. I'm Lorenz, Baron of...
Yes, the Baron of Rothvogel. So wonderful to have you here again. We actually did meet on your last visit.
Ah, if you say so. I am not good with remembering faces.
Please forgive me, my lord. I wasn't expecting you for another few days.
Yes, I know, but I rode ahead. I just couldn't wait to see my manuscript. I'm sure it's no trouble.
Yes. I mean, no, it's no trouble. Did you want to see it now?
Oh, in a moment. I could go with a bit of refreshment, though. May I grab something from the kitchen?
Yes, certainly, my lord. I will meet you there. Andreas, I don't know what you are doing with the Baron, but I need you in the scriptorium, now. Well, what's a book of hours? A type of illuminated manuscript that contains an abbreviated form of the prayers for the divine office in addition to other religious texts. Most are relatively plain, but wealthy patrons often commission lavish examples with elaborate illustrations. Seems a little cheeky to ask this. Yeah, I like this better than whoops, why are you taking this out on me? Why are you taking this out on me seems like weirdly defensive when we are late to work. Like, let's not get up in his face. But giving him a little bit of like cheek back, I feel like is fine for this character. I should ask again when he's in a better mood. Maybe I could just convince Brother Matthew to pay me early. That guy. This seems to have a large cast. I'm worried about keeping everybody straight. Okay, find a way to get paid. Apparently now we've crossed into the part of the game that's real life. God bless you, Brother Piero? No, wait, it's Master Maller. I thought you couldn't see, Sister Marguerite. During the day, I can see some colors. How did you know it was me? You and Brother Piero both smell of the pigments you use. But you're taller, and you have another smell to you, like fish or burned almonds. I do like that he's like, I'm also much more handsome. Yeah, let's go with that. We're sort of filling out this guy's personality. Well, I wouldn't know. God has saved me from the temptations of beautiful men. Well, you just have to trust me then. Not a chance. Have a good day, Sister Margaret. God bless you, Master Maller. Brother Matthew maintains this shrine along with some of the sisters who paint badges for pilgrims. Hold on, can I look at that? Yeah. That thing. Reliquary, or reliquary, containing the hand of Saint Moritz, which is said to have once held the Holy Lance. I didn't close that, by the way. Okay, am I... No, okay, so I'm the red arrow in the shrine to Saint Moritz, and then the scriptorium is almost as far from here as I can be. God bless you, Master Maller, says Lisbeth. Here's Gertrude. God bless you, Master Maller. How goes your work in the scriptorium? Very well. Oh, then I guess you wouldn't be interested in the saffron Agnes Stein... Saffron Agnes... Well, this is somebody's last name. Received yesterday. There she is. What? Saffron, really? Where'd you hear that? Sister Matilda saw her at the Albans. I'm gonna have a lot of trouble remembering all of these faces. Maybe you can convince Prior Ference to get some for your yellows. Good to know. How's Mausfanger? She's around here somewhere, hopefully getting to the baby rabbits before Sister Matilda does. Until later, Sister Gertrude. Bless you, Andreas. Maybe I'll see you by the shrine of Saint Satya one of these days. Saint Satya was one of Tassing's patron saints. Satya was a local pagan who converted to Christianity and miraculously aided Saint Moritz's soldiers with food in the dead of winter. She was martyred for her actions. I feel like we probably saw everything in the shrine. I am... Like, usually I want to explore everything that can be explored, but also, like... If we can go everywhere on this map right now, that's, like, a lot. That's a lot to take in on our way to work. feverfew. It always smells so fresh. That and its juices are especially good for hangovers. I'm thinking that I might head to work. God bless you, Master Mallor. Sister Matilda, how are you doing? Mother Cecilia doesn't like us talking to men unless it's necessary to perform our work. Okay, basically the one woman from Sister Act. Ah, forgive me. Sorry to bother you. Thank you, Master Mallor. Okay, well-tended garden. I can't look at that yellow flower or the pink one. Oh, yes, I can. The many-petaled cinquefoil, it grows so easily some consider a weed. Casting is lucky to have so many wunderwort naturally growing. I had to buy it back in Nuremberg. God bless you, Master Mallor. How are things going in the nun's kitchen? I mean, no offense, Master Mallor, but I cannot speak with men. My apologies. God bless you. And you as well, Slister. There we go. Sister Gertrude dries and stores all of her herbs here. So, yeah, I think we're gonna, like, it seems... Oh, wait, no, we have to pet the cat. Mausfunger. Oh, I got plus 10 arcane knowledge. Okay, yeah, let's... Rather than exploring every possible place that can be explored, which I feel like would take hours, and maybe not, but let's head to work. I have no idea. I'm gonna head in this direction. Yes, okay. So we're heading in the right direction. The trouble is that I do want to, like, meet people. I feel like this might be an opportunity to get to know the people that Andreas already knows. God bless you, Andreas. Brother Florian, how are you? The brothers and sisters are well, so I am well, thank God. Andreas, have you spoken to Klaus Drucker lately? Yes, quite recently. Why? I believe he may be receiving a medical text from Bologna now. So, in the United States, we would read that word as Bologna. I'm not sure if that is the correct spelling, and its pronunciation, rather. It probably is not. I'm quite interested in it. One of the largest cities in Italy. Is it Bologna? I'm so sorry. Has been a center of the arts for centuries. It houses a well-known university which was home to both Dante and Petrarch. This game is really going to show off how little I know about Europe, as though I can't, like, just do that by myself. Can you read Italian? No, little Italian, and my Latin is not as good as I would like. I was hoping Brother Piero could help me with it, if he has the time. I'm sure he'll make time. He's a patient teacher. That he is. I will see you later, Andreas. Until then. Most of these medicines were made by Agnek. Okay, so it is Agnes. And I did not close that. With some help from Sister Gertrude. Okay. Bologna says, more than a Mia. Thank you. Let's look for people. There's a lot of art in this game, and I wish that I knew more to be able to, like, appreciate it. But, like, look at that. That looks pretty cool. Let's look at it. A Dance of Death mural. Father Matthias had it painted a few years before his death. It's beautiful. So the Dance of Death is an artistic allegory on the constancy of death, illustrations often feature people from every station of society to communicate that death inevitably claims everyone, from the peasant to the emperor. Mia is saying that if Shiv were here, he could speak on some of the art. That'd be interesting. God give you health, Master Mahler. Brother Sebit, I'm surprised to see you are still here.
As am I, but I will be leaving soon, returning to Rome.
I and my bishop regret that we could not reciprocate Father Rodolph's generosity earlier. He showed much kindness to our priests at the Council of Constance many, many years ago. That was a meeting of bishops that took place between 1414 and 1418 in the Diocese of Constance to end the papal schism. It was also notable for the condemnation and capture of the Bohemian theologian Jan Hus. I don't know how to say any of these words. Will you remain in Rome? That is up to my bishop, but I will miss these mountains in any case. You should travel to Ethiopia, Master Mahler, and see the highlands. God has blessed my home with a wondrous beauty. I would love to, someday. I still need to return to Nuremberg and open my workshop.
Yes, someday. Until then, if you are ever in Rome, I may still be around.
I would like that.
By the way, if you have some time in the next few days, it would be nice to share a meal with you and some of the townsfolk.
Townsfolk?
I am accustomed to strange looks, especially in rural places like these, but I have had kind words with the baker and his wife.
Ah yes, the Albans, Ulrich and Gret. Oh boy. Ulrich looks a lot like a Disney villain, so let's keep our eyes on him. Jan was correct, says Mia. For Jan.
I offered to tell a story to the children and their mothers over a meal someday. Gret seemed excited about the idea, but I would be more comfortable if you were there as well.
I can certainly make the time. Like, whether or not he eats with the brothers, that's not relevant to what he's asking about now. Like, he wants to, like, bring Andreas along for this event.
Thank you, Andreas. I look forward to it. God give you health.
Okay, so there's the church. There's the dormitory. Hold on. Sorry, that's the wrong button. Okay, so I feel like I am heading in the right direction, but I do want to check out the dormitory, because there might be some people in here. That goes to the church, and this goes to the old... So, sorry, why is the map is one thing that we've learned in the last few minutes, so that's what I keep looking for. So the Old Bailey looks correct. Oh, scriptorium. We finally arrived at work. Just 9 hours late.
Andreas, God bless you. So good to see you.
Good morning, Brother Piero. Good to see you as well. I don't like this weather. My bones ache. It means a storm is coming. Big Jorg Gertner says that if you live here 10 or 15 years, you can smell storms coming. Well, we met him, but sure, let's learn about him. Yep, there he is. Brother Adok has been here long enough that we can always smell him coming. Do not forget, Brother Guy, the fate of the youths who jeered the aged prophet Elisha outside of Bethel. Are you comparing yourself to a prophet, Brother Adok? I am comparing you to an impudent youth whom the Lord, in his ineffable wisdom, may choose to strike down. I'm not getting involved in this. This has nothing to do with Andreas. Wow. For a second, I was like, what is my character's name? Well, everyone seems quite lively. I suppose that means Prior Ferenc is not overseeing us today. He was here, but then he heard Lorenz Rothvogel had arrived, and he hurried out like a little mouse. Oh, right, that guy. Ferenc is so desperate to impress the abbot and nobles like Rothvogel. It's pathetic. You feign kindness to Father Abbot and our prior, only to speak about them like this behind their backs. It's shameful.
Oh no, Brother Rothvogel, his manuscript. I just realized he'll want to see his manuscript. Oh, silly of me. Of course, that's why he's visiting.
Perhaps if you were younger and faster, you wouldn't need to worry so much about your patron's visits. I kind of like giving it back to this guy a little bit. Guy, someday you will stand where Piero is, and a young monk will stand where you are now. Anyway, what's the problem? The Baron is just one client. He has to wait like anyone else. Andreas, Brother Rothvogel, Baron Rothvogel is not like anyone else. He has powerful friends, including the Prince Bishop of Friesling. Kirsau is already out of favor. Father Abbot does not want to have to deal with more attention. Well, if Prior Ferenc isn't here, I'm going to work on my masterpiece until he arrives. Oh, that's right. I need to reference the Indermau manuscript. A prominent family of the Swiss Confederacy in Austria. So I don't know how to pronounce Zdenna. What do you want, Andreas? A book. The Indermauer manuscript. The Book of Hours. Your hair looks messy today. Did you get enough sleep? Oh, let's 100% flirt with this lady. Liar. Could I just get the book? Ugh. Is that... That's all the way upstairs. Can't you get by without it? I'm not going to, like, tut, this is your job, lady. That sucks. Nobody likes to be talked to like that. Like, if this lady, if any of these people isn't doing their job, that's between them and whoever their boss is, not some dude who's basically being put up so that he can do a work of art. He doesn't need to, like, get in her face about it. I'm sorry, but I really can't. I need to reference it for my work. Really? My feet hurt and the stairs are so steep. I'm just going to ask Illuminata to get it. Okay, Illuminata doesn't look like she stands up for herself very often. Sister Illuminata! Andreas needs help finding a book and I don't know where it is. Andreas... Sister Illuminata, I'd like to borrow the Indermau manuscript, the Book of Hours. Yes, I overheard. Here, please return it promptly in blue text. Look at his hands. I actually just pointed at the screen like you guys can see. Like, look at Father Piero's hands. They're all, like, warped.
Andreas, may I see how your masterpiece is coming?
Of course, your opinion is always welcome. Oh god, I've just been flashbanged. It's so bright.
Yes, the composition is lovely. There's a joyful spirit in the arrangement of the figures. The contrast of colors is also quite nice. Rich and beautiful on their own, but not overpowering the scene.
It doesn't feel right, and I don't know why.
It is an excellent interpretation of someone else's work.
You know I don't like doing more work than I have to. I don't feel like our guy's lazy. I'm gonna go with, but then again, we did say that he's not just gonna be out on it for like the money of it. I'm gonna go with it's all my work.
My son, you're copying the illustration from the Indermau manuscript almost exactly.
So, what's wrong with that? Haven't I improved on it?
Aesthetically, yes, it's wonderful. But I feel you've not given much thought to what it represents.
It's November. In November, we show peasants leading the pigs into the forest to forage on acorns before the slaughter.
Andreas, the peasants here are no longer allowed to forage acorns in the forest. Many great lords and abbots across the empire have forbidden it, even Father Gernot.
What difference does it make? This is the way November is painted.
But it's not the way November is. Art is an illusion, storytelling, but in their most sublime form, these images illuminate a path to truth.
It's most important to me that my clients are happy. They won't pay me for truth.
Yes, but with God's grace, this book of ours will outlive us all. What will it say to those who see it in a future generation, centuries beyond our comprehension? Some will gaze deep into your lines.
What the hell word is that? Hold on. There we go. Okay, it was misspelled. I was like, what?
Some will gaze deep into your lines and paint to seek a deeper meaning. What will they find? But you need not listen to my opinions. They're just the thoughts of one old monk. There is no place for the monastic scriptoria anymore. In truth, this room is a place out of time.
I think that our Andreas is going to be interested in people's feelings. I feel like that's part of his art. I feel like that's part of who he is as a hedonist. Does that make you sad?
I admit I'm still fond of the old styles of lettering and illumination, but even in my youth I knew it could not last. The creation of books, of art, is no longer the province of monasteries. So be it. More people will be able to write, more will be able to read, and in so doing, be brought to truth.
So we're not going to argue against literacy. I think there will always be a place for artists like you, brother Adok. So Adok's the guy sitting right behind me, right? Oh, no, that must be Brother Guy. Well, sure, and Brother Guy. Look. These people can be assholes, but they can still be good at what they do.
It's kind of you to say so, Andreas, but you need not be concerned for me. I have lived a long life, and I am happy to have served the Lord. When he calls for me, I am ready. Where's the time gone? It's already terce.
Monastic hour corresponding to 9 a.m. Wow! What time? Hold on, you guys. What time did we wake up that we did all of that, walked here, and apparently worked for hours, and now it's 9 a.m.? I guess I just didn't realize how early in the day it was before. One of the little hours of prayer, terce precedes Mass and the chapter meeting.
Too much talk. I must ask forgiveness for not honoring the rule.
The Rule of St. Benedict of Nursia is a book of instructions for monks living together under the guidance of an abbot. Written in the 6th century, the rule provides the principles for living a monastic life.
Until later, Andreas.
Yeah, until later. What's going on in here? So this might actually be a decision, but I want to go see what he wrote down. And I can't. But look at the lighting. Hold on, that's pretty cool. Like the shafts of light him up as he goes. Also, this is Illuminata, I think. Andreas, what was that noise? Oh, I'm sorry, Sister Illuminata. I knocked a bowl of paint onto the floor. But then Prior Ference came in, wrote in one of his books, slammed it closed, and left. He was in such a hurry, I don't even think he noticed me. He was slamming books shut? Prior Ference should know better than that. Some of the manuscripts are quite delicate. He seemed to be in a great hurry. I think he's on edge since Baron Rothvogel arrived early, which is why books should not be taken out of the library unless it is necessary for divine reading or work in the scriptorium. Oh boy. Lectio Divina is the thoughtful reading of and meditation on scripture. The practice leads to prayer and contemplation. It is a daily part of the life in the Benedictine communities. Wait, did I borrow the Chronica Clara earlier? She seems a little bit like, run down after what's-her-face, Zabara, or whatever her name was. Like, she seemed awfully mean, so I don't want to, like... I don't want to add to her miseries. Like her work is a big joke. I don't like that. So... No, anger is not an appropriate response for a nun. But the fact remains that you tricked me into giving you that book for no valid reason. Not valid. Is it not valid to want to see the work of one of the great Irish scribes? The one who wrote masterworks that even now grace libraries at Cologne, Fulda, and Mainz? So sorry if I'm mispronouncing those. No, it's not. Not unless it pertains to your work or the abbot permits it. Now, if you'll excuse me... Wait, what's all this fuss about Lorenz Rothvogel? Why is Prior Ference so nervous? Lorenz? I didn't know you were familiar enough with the man to use his Christian name. Anyway, I haven't dealt with him personally, but the prior and father, abbot, have. I only know that he's purchased a number of our most valuable manuscripts over the years, and he paid enough to help the abbey when we needed it. Like what? What did he buy? Huh. I can't remember. You know, I have my own responsibilities to attend to. How about this, Andreas? If you help me recover some missing books, I'll tell you what I know about the Baron. I feel like he'd be very ready to take a break from what he was doing, so I'll help in any way that I can. Thank you. It's for the good of the Abbey. Where should I begin? Out there, where you and your cohort have carelessly strewn books around the scriptorium. I'll tell you what books I'm looking for, find them, and return them to me. The first two books are 2 volumes of the Aeneid, a poetic epic telling the legend of Aeneas, a heroic Trojan who struggles to reconcile his personal desires with his destiny to found Rome. It was written in the 1st century BC by the Roman poet Virgil. Reddish covers, 14 inches by 10 inches, 3 inches thick. Hold on, I do like this. Innsbruck inches or Nuremberg inches. I like it. I don't want him to be like a jerk about it, but I do like it when he's funny. What? Nuremberg inches are long. What color are the covers again? Reddish. Oh, I know the ones. They're among Piero's favorites. He keeps them by my desk. They're not his to keep. Okay, so this book looks reddish, yeah? Oh! There's a fair amount of wear on these. I hope you don't mind. Those volumes were old even when Piero started to make the copies. How long ago was that? 3 years. The Aeneid is not one of my favorite stories, but I understand why it appeals to Piero. Look, here I am in its pages. Aeneas chose his duty to the gods over his lover, Dido. Do you think Aeneas's sense of duty, appears to Piero? We all have our vocations. Brother Piero takes his more seriously than most of the others in this abbey. You clearly take your chosen vocation seriously. Andreas, I didn't have a choice in my vocation. Few women do. You're right, of course. Well, so I want to have this thought, although I'm not a fan of the fact that it starts with, is it really that bad? Look, it's a different time, a different place. This character may think very differently of it than we do today. That still doesn't mean that I want to, like, embrace his style of thinking. Is it really that bad? Is being a woman that limiting? Yeah, I'm gonna go with what Beatrice says. How would you know? True. She knows her life better than I do. You're right, of course. I appreciate that you understand how limited our roles and our choices truly are. Careful. That looks a little hot. Even in stories, we are maidens to be rescued and wed, cruel seducers of men, or wizened crones. Like Dido, we ordinary women are merely tools in the tales of men. We can never be the protagonists of our own stories. No woman is exempt from that, and from the empress to a nun. It is our lot. I suppose I understand now why you're not fond of the Aeneid. It's fine poetry, for men. Now, the books, if you please. I also, just in case anybody, like, comes in late, I want to clarify that I'm voicing her with, like, this, sighing sort of, not reverence, what's the word, reluctance, acceptance. I'm trying to think of, like, what the word is, because she was being so, like harangued by that other nun, and she's like, whatever. Thank you. Next, Wretched Guerin. This is a printed copy, green cover, diamond pattern. An Italian chivalric romance written by Andrea da Barberino in the early 15th century. The titular character rises from impoverished origins to go on heroic adventures and discover his noble parentage. Originally published as a manuscript, it enjoyed greater success as a printed book. I do not have the size in the ledger, but hopefully the description is enough. Oh, I know the one you're talking about. Brother Adoc was reading it. Oh, I didn't look at Brother Adoc. It only would have showed his pictures. One of the people back here. There it is. I need to play this game during the daytime because it's super bright when it goes to this. The beauty of this book truly belies its ridiculous content. I'm surprised that Abbey owns a copy. We don't. It belongs to Almeida Rusco of Lugano, highly contested Swiss market town located in the southwestern Alps. The Dukes of Como and Milan fought for control over it until it was claimed by the Swiss Confederation in 1513. It's a Venetian edition that's quite valuable. He loaned it to us 5 years ago. It was subsequently lost, and the abbot has received 3 letters about it. I've certainly seen the brothers enjoying it. That book is not appropriate for reading for Benedictine monks. A baby is sold to pirates, raised a servant, and then lives the life of adventure, wooing princesses and fighting in tournaments. You forgot the best part. In the end, Guerin learns he has royal blood, the son of a duke. He reigns as a king and dies a pious hermit. What's not to love? Benedictines should be dreaming of reconciliation with our Lord, not lusty adventures. So, our Andreas, I think, would definitely say, what's the harm? Come on. It's just a story. Oh, hello to Ronan. Sorry, we've been doing a lot of reading recently. Let me just take a look through. I hope I said hello to Maxine as well when she came in. Yeah, Ronan, I hope that you're having a nice Saturday. We are checking out Pentiment for the first time. Fantasy leads to temptation. Temptation has led to the downfall of many men and women. Sometimes, yes, but books like this, it's all the same type of fantasy, isn't it? To die better than we're born. And what's the problem with that? Why shouldn't a peasant dream of being a king? There's neither Jew nor Greek, neither slave nor free, neither male nor female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. We may be one in Christ, but we are not equal in this world. It isn't this world you should be concerned with, Andreas. But the book, Andreas, we must return it, or would you like the abbot to receive a fourth letter? Okay, so I do usually like going with like whatever our background stuff is. Like we defined Andreas earlier as being knowledgeable about the law, but also this is the worst form of being knowledgeable about the law. Arguing a point that is completely irrelevant to the conversation. She's not asking because she thinks she's going to get prosecuted under Bavarian law. She's asking because it's her job to keep track of the manuscripts, and the brothers borrowed it and they didn't give it back. So even though, like, I'm just not going to say that, even though, like, from a gameplay perspective, I like playing into our characteristics, it's just like a dick thing to say. I hate to see the brothers disappointed, but I understand. It's not my goal to deprive the brothers of their joy, but to return Almeida Rusco's property. The book, please. There's only one book left, then you'll be free from bondage. Dark red cover, 8 inches high, 5 inches across, 2 inches thick. Well, we're going to be pretty curious to think, what is it? The description should be sufficient. It's doing very well. Let's not get argumentative. So that one doesn't, I can't tell the cover, but it doesn't look particularly red. I just want to see if there's any other matches that it could be. No. Okay. Ronan is saying, I'm now realizing there are emblems exclusive to the expansion pass for Engage. There was a DLC, a day one DLC, and didn't realize it. I didn't know that either, Ronan. That's completely new information. Now that I think about it, Guy's always been guarded about this book, like he was hiding it. Guy is that dude. Okay. Very good. Please bring it here. What is this, anyway? Ah, it's in French. The soul that God touched, empty of sin, in the first state of grace. What is this? Why are you asking so many questions? Just give it to me. Why won't you tell me what this book is? Because it's a dangerous book, Andreas Mahler. One the previous abbot tolerated in spite of a papal order to destroy it. 3 French bishops condemned the book. All copies were to be burned. Its author shared the same fate. Wow, okay. What? Why? I don't know, Andreas. It isn't my place to question the judgment of 1 bishop, much less 3. And before you ask, no, I haven't read it, but I know it contains a dialogue between love and reason. So the book is dangerous. When did the bishops condemn it? "200 years ago? What? Why? Why is it still here?" Because Father Matthias loves books, all books, and he didn't want to see it destroyed. I like this one. He was right to do so. Books shouldn't be destroyed even if their content is in question. I would say especially if their content is in question. The Holy Church does not share your opinion. It's their law we must contend with, not your emotions. So, again, we've taken some steps here. There's certain things that I don't think Andreas is going to be, like, antagonizing her about it, but this is something that I'm going to say that he believes in because I believe in. The church was wrong. I'm not going to debate this with you, Andreas, and Father Matthias is gone. It's not my place to question the former abbot's decision, but when Father Gernot learned that it was in our possession, he wanted it destroyed. Wow, we can actually, like, say we're straight up not going to give it to her. If I hadn't chosen hedonism earlier, I would not consider this a viable thing. Like, normally in a game like this, I'm like, you know what? You're a guest here. You're here to do your job. You're going to, like, you can argue for what you believe in, but you don't own this book. It's not your place to do it. As soon as we chose hedonism earlier on, like, just do whatever feels right, seek pleasure in life however you can. Now that we've made that decision, that's going to go on, I think, to color the way that we view Andreas and the decisions that he's going to make. I'm not going to give it to you if you're just going to destroy it. What? Why not? What are you going to do with it? Read it and become a French heretic. That's not funny. I'm serious. Give me that book or our deal is forfeit. I won't tell you anything about Baron Rothvogel. I'm not sure that Andreas cares. Oh, that's right. We're a good, like, rhetoricist. We're good at oratory. So one thing that she said a few different times is, it's not my job to do this, it's not my job to do that. She takes her responsibilities within her role very seriously and talked a bunch about how women are not allowed to choose their own path. She doesn't strike me as somebody who's, like, she laments the way the world is, but accepts the way that it is. So I think that if we argue to her theological sense, she's just going to say, well, the church says that we do what the abbot says. I feel like that's what she'd say. Your duty as the librarian of the abbey not to destroy the book. I'm going to propose a compromise. Let me take it away very, very far away. I'll be gone by the time Father Gernot asks about it, and if you like, you can say I stole it. I doubt he'll make a fuss about me stealing a book he wanted destroyed. I don't like this, Andreas. It feels wrong in my heart. Yeah, look at that. Order, background, offered to help, Illuminata enthusiastically. Okay, so we have a very high persuasion chance. Either that or we are guaranteed to persuade her. I swear I'll take it far away, and it's been out of here for years, and besides, how could you have stopped me? I'm trusting you in this, Andreas. Against my better judgment, don't make me regret this. As Ronan says, yeah, Day 1 DLC is like modern gaming things you would not expect from Nintendo. I had no idea. Ronan, you're the first person that's ever mentioned Day 1 DLC as part of Fire Emblem Engage. Now then, Baron Rothvogel. Quickly, though, I do need to finish up here soon. So, when she says quickly, that may mean that we only get 1 or 2 questions. So let's think about what we want to ask. Let's also think about it. She may only have time to ask 1 question, so I should choose carefully. Let's cut to it. I mean, this is the most incredibly specific thing. What kinds of books did he buy from the Abbey? I don't know. All kinds. I didn't really pay attention. How long has he been visiting the Abbey? 100,000 years. What difference does it make? He seemed unusually friendly with me. I don't understand it honestly. Yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that question for you, Andreas. Like I'm locked in this room apparently at all hours of the day. So this is the question that I think is most likely to present an answer. He mentioned finding a copy of Historia Taciae. He said it had some scandalous details in it. And that, again, is the early history of Tassing, which is where we are. Kirsau's previous abbot had a copy. Baron Rothvogel brought another to the abbey as a gift. And they, like, wanted to compare details in the two books. So I feel like this is the one that we'd want to ask about. He also mentioned that Father Matthias had a copy and was looking for another to verify its contents. Do you know anything about the book? Yeah, see, there might be a lot of plot details that I forget or get confused about, and I may not know how to pronounce anything in the world, but I am trying to pay attention to the story. I have heard of it, but I've never read it, and I know little about its contents. The subject is broad, but I believe the books deal specifically with the Roman occupation of this land. I don't think that she's going to know what might have upset Father Matthias, but she might know something about the Romans in Tassing. I have no proper education on the subject. I only know the folklore passed between the locals in this community. And of course, the miraculous life of St. Moritz is intertwined with that of the colony. But you can always ask Brother Matthew about the saint. It's a story he's told hundreds of times. Well, she knows the folklore. I kind of want to hear it from her. There were pagans here first before the Romans. They dug the old salt mine. Then the Romans came, worked the mines, built the aqueduct and the foundations to the keep beneath us. St. Moritz's legion came, St. Satya helped them and was martyred for it. And then the Romans left. They took their slaves, their legions, and their gods with them. Another tribe moved in and built a new town in the bones of the old. Sic transit gloria Romanae. Well, I must be off to Mass. Thank you again for your help, Andreas. Wait, how will we get to the church if you can't enter the scriptorium? I thought this was the only door into the library. We're standing in the oldest part of the abbey, and like any old place, it has its share of secrets. Good day, Andreas. God be with you. Oh, that took a couple hours. Now we're into Sext. That's the bell for Sext. The brothers will be sitting down for dinner soon. I should see if Otto is around and still wants to eat with me. I think he's working by the guest house below the abbey. Dinner with Otto and Andreas. Now, hold on a second. Don't we... I could speak with Brother Matthew about an early payment for my manuscript. Did I miss the chance to do this? Prime hour 6, another day, another few pages of the Abbot, and hopefully a few for myself. I need to get across town and head up to the Abbey so I can start work at the scriptorium. But I did that part. Terse hour 9, Clara kindly gave me some food for dinner. I should see if Otto and Andreas are around. Otto's working below the Abbey, between the guest house and the Abbot's house. So, hopefully this is still active. I hope I didn't miss the chance to do this. I can speak with Brother Matthew about an early payment for my manuscript. Oh, here's our character sheet. Okay, so I know some Dutch and French. We need to have, like Petit and Caroluna here. Andreas seeks out pleasure wherever he goes. He's extremely social and quite experienced in all enjoyable vices of the world. The basics of the fractured systems of laws that govern the various states. Yeah, we've read through that before. Yes, correct. Here's our map. Okay, so we've got a rundown of all the people, so we can get caught up on that if we need to. And then here's a glossary. So Sext, by the way, is the monastic hour corresponding to noon, one of the little hours of prayer followed by dinner. Sorry, Brother Matthew. Oh, when it's red, maybe it's just new. Because now, look, nothing is red. So I would like to find Brother Matthew... or Father Gernot. Otto and Andreas. Well, Otto's working below the Abbey, between the guest house and the Abbot's house. Oh, it actually puts a star there. So I guess we'll head left. I don't really know how to get there on a two-dimensional plane, but we'll work it out. Sorry. Okay, this doesn't look like it's gonna go where I want, but we haven't been here yet. The apple trees have only started to bloom. It'll be months before they bear fruit. Okay, so I need to get, like, down to the stable and courthouse, which kind of looks like I go... Well, I don't really know where I go. Maybe here. What's that punk kid? Go away, Andreas. Can't you see I'm busy? I thought we could have a pleasant conversation for once. Why would I want that? I got so many better things to do. What is your problem with me? You're an annoying windbag, Andreas. You talk a lot, but you don't really do anything. I'll say that I work hard every day. My dad says scribbling and painting aren't even real work. You don't have to dig in dirt. You don't have people nagging at you all the time. So stuff your fat nose back in your paintings and leave me alone. I'll tell you what, if there's going to be anything at all that makes friends with this kid, where it's going to be a good meal. You'd be surprised at how much you can bond over just one good meal. You know what, Andreas? I don't want to eat supper with you fucking lot of old farts. Alright, fine. Be a little turd about it. I do feel like that's an offer that comes around once. Andreas, yeah, Andreas and Otto, okay.
Good day, Master Mahler. Andreas, good to see you. I trust Clara gave you my message.
Afternoon, Andreas, Otto. Clara did give me your message. Sorry I missed you this morning. I was still asleep when you came by. Well, I like it when the cue gets corrected.
The abbot really lets you get away with anything, doesn't he? Leave him be, Otto. I'm hungry. Let's pray.
Bless us, O Lord, and these your gifts which we are about to receive from your bounty. Through Christ, O Lord, amen.
Amen.
Amen. So, he's a hedonist? That doesn't mean that he's like a complainer. Oh my goodness, Maxine, thank you so much for the resubscription. 16-month streak. Maxine, thank you so much. I don't... It's easy when, like, there's... When you have stream regulars, people who are here for basically every episode all the time, sometimes you forget to say how much it means that those people are there all the time. You know, you'll get somebody like Force or like Ricardinho or Diesel Jones that'll stop by and they get a great big greeting because we haven't seen them in a while. But that's not to say, Maxine, that I don't value the fact that you're here for basically every stream. Like, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for the resubscription. I really appreciate it.
Not too bad, thanks. I hurt my damned hand splitting timber to replace a bad beam in the abbot's house.
Ooh, what are we going to eat? Okay, so I can't eat off of their plate. I'm going to have... Well, I guess I smell of almonds. That came up earlier. So let's have some almonds.
It's not that bad of an injury. It just galls me that the abbot bleeds us dry and we're expected to do work here when it suits him.
I shall have some cheese.
Oh, it's not all that bad. I get a lot of good work from the abbey. Casting pilgrims' badges isn't really smithing, but I don't mind.
Well, I guess I'm going to have my rye bread.
Anyway, I saw you walking with that Baron Rothvogel in the meadow on your way up here. What's all that about?
So, we have to consider how much information we'd share with people that apparently we know relatively well, but also, like, he's a baron, he's a local lord. You wouldn't want to be gossiping, I wouldn't think. We're not going to say this. I'll tell you what, he himself volunteered this information to at least 2 different people that I can remember, and only one of them was me. So he's here to check on a commission. I understand he was friendly with Father Matthias.
He was, though Father Matthias had some misgivings about the Baron.
What kind?
That he fools around with young women. He's married, of course. Otto, that's only gossip, and it isn't Christian to spread rumors like that. It's not gossip that he beat up that farmer a few years back, old Rannig. May you rest in peace. Well, I wasn't there, so I don't know him. But if he did that, yes, it does speak poorly of his character.
So we had a long conversation on our way up, but he didn't mention anything about that. Why would he? We weren't having a conversation about everybody we've punched. Also, I don't know if that was the sort of thing that he would do. Maybe we'll get some more information about this.
It's not my affair, not my affair. I can't speak to it.
I wasn't there either, but I do know that it happened. Oh, I guess we're going to say this anyway. We had a long conversation on our way up here, but he didn't mention anything about that.
What did you talk about then? I mean, no offense, but what does a nobleman have in common with an artist?
I do like this because it's more jokey. He can sense my inherent moral quality.
Right, St. Andreas in the flesh. As if a rich bastard like him has any sense of virtue. This bitterness and envy are not good for our Christian souls, Otto.
It's not envy, Andreas. No one should get away with what he does. What this abbey does.
No offense to you, Andreas. I don't have any problem with the books the abbey makes. I mean, I never did learn to read, but if people are paying the abbey to make them, it doesn't bother me.
I understand why people resent the abbot's rule. He's a harsh lord. Again, it's the hedonism of it. I don't think that Andreas usually likes living by rules. He recognizes the times that he has to, but he's not going to say to others, like, tut, like, just accept your station in life.
Oh, Otto, did you see that the Bowers sheep escaped the grazing fields again?
No, but I'm not surprised. Martin was supposed to fix that fence, and he probably did a bad job.
He's always in a foul mood, and he could be the laziest soul in Tassing. He can't even hold a hammer properly. Married and a father at such a young age, and he barely lifts a finger for his wife or child. Okay, so he was like a little bit. He looked smaller, so I thought, oh, maybe he's like a teenager, and maybe he is, but. On top of that, he's a damn thief. And before you say it, Andreas, that's more than just gossip. Look at him over there by the guest house. He's probably figuring out what he can steal with the least amount of effort.
Yeah, he's a born shirker, sure enough. I know one when I see one.
Especially when you look in a mirror. Hey! Speaking of the Bauer sheep, their ewes are shorn, and the women will be spinning it soon, Otto.
I got it, Andreas. No need to tease. What God wants to happen will happen.
Looks like a storm's coming. We should probably get back to it.
Right. I'll catch up in a moment, Andreas.
Oh, and Andreas, say hello to Eva for me if you get the chance.
I swear to God, I at this point, I could not tell you if we've met Eva down there, middle center. Eva, huh? Well chosen, Otto. Andreas, don't. Just tell her hello for me and keep out of it. Let's go with, of course. I should return to work in the scriptorium. Until later. Time to get back to work. What? Me. So, maybe he's peeking in the window? Like, can we go into the guest house and see if there's anybody here? Hello? There's a creep at the window. God be with you, Andreas. I guess he's got nothing to say to us right now. God bless you, Andreas. Hello, Brother Matthew. What are you doing out here? I thought you were aware that in addition to my role as Kirsau's sacrist, I tend to the shrine of St. Moritz. He is the patron of Tassing and Kirsau both, so it is my duty to ensure his reliquary, however that's pronounced, is well cared for. The shrine is beautifully kept. Whenever I visit it, I always leave inspired. Whether that's true or not, I don't... No matter how hedonistic you are, I always feel like it's a bad look to just, like, sneer at the hard work that somebody else is putting in just because it doesn't appeal to you personally. The martyrdom of St. Moritz provides inspiration to us all. You are familiar with the life of St. Moritz, aren't you? Are you not? I feel like this is the truth of it. Yeah, let's say this. Like, because I feel like otherwise we're going to get a big lesson, and I would be curious to learn about this Saint Moritz, assuming that it's a real person, like a real historical figure, that I assume that it is, but still, I don't think that Andreas would care about it. Well, you ought to learn something about Tassing's patron saint while you're here. By all means. Saint Moritz is most widely known for his martyrdom at the hands of the Romans. He protected a town of Christians from slaughter, and in turn, he and his legion were decimated. Wouldn't that mean he was a Roman soldier? Yes. He was a Roman citizen and led a legion made up entirely of Christians into Bavaria. As you know, Bavaria is a powerful duchy in the southeastern Holy Roman Empire. It is east of Swabia and north of Tyrol, Tassing, and Tassing and Kirso sit in the extreme south of the duchy, near the border of Tyrol, but you already know all of that because you live here. Anyway, when he retired to kill the... refused. When he retired to kill the Christians. When he refused to kill the Christians, even though they were traitors to Rome, the emperor had his legion massacred. Most of the pilgrims who visit come knowing only this, if anything, about his life. Hold on, let me scribble that out. There we go. Anything. However, Tassing venerates Saint Moritz because he was the one to convert the town and save it from destruction. I feel like my character would know a lot about pagan history. There are some in Tassing who still cling to the pagan traditions, yes. God save them. Saint Moritz and his legion were snowed into this pass, and the pagan townsfolk refused to aid them. The daughter of the town's leader, Satya, was moved in spirit and snuck from the town to convert. She led Moritz to a spring, and as soon as she was baptized, the snow melted, revealing all manner of fruits. Moritz and his legion were saved by these miraculous gifts, and the town was converted, and the rebels fled into the mountains. What happened to Satya? She, too, was martyred to her faith by the rebels inhabiting the town. Now her shrine protects Tassing from harm. Let's thank him for the history lesson. You're welcome, Master Maller. God bless you. Hey, I do have... Oh, I forgot we were going to ask this man for money. We should have been more enthusiastic to learn all about the stuff. Yes, Andreas? I was hoping you could give me my pay for the latest manuscript early. This isn't part of the agreement you made with Father Gernot. You'll be paid on the completion of each additional manuscript you illuminate, not before. This does not seem like a man of exceptions. Then I think you can wait a few days to collect your wages. This abbey runs through mutual agreements, not haphazard payments. Breaking such contracts would cause undue trouble not only for Kirsau, but for Tassing as well. Yeah, so is this my orator skill? The matter is pressing, Brother Matthew. For the love of another Christian, I beg of you to make an exception. Very well. Do not ask this of me again, Brother Andreas Maller. Here you are. I shall note this with Father Gernot and Prior Ferenc. Thank you, Brother Matthew. God bless you, Andreas. Alright, now I've got my payment. I can give Clara the rent early. No, let's not put it on the table. We're going to put it in her hand, and we're going to do it at a time when her husband is not there. I forget his name, but remember she specifically said, because if we put it on the table, then he might find it. Okay, so where do we think we're going? It's back to work, yes? Hold on. Yes, okay, so if we just leave the church and go to the scriptorium... Brother Eric, this work. I don't know where to start. Inconsistent spacing, rough strokes. You're working like you want to see this place closed. Brother Prior, I'm working to the best of my abilities, and I dispute your criticism. I may not be fast, but I still have my talent, praise be to God. And Brother Guy, why are you still on this page? What's wrong with you? Normally you're so reliable. Many apologies, Brother Prior. I will work harder. Piero, I can't believe this. Brother Baron Rothvogel has come to check on his progress, and this is all you have? You should have finished this months ago. Is your mind so corrupted by age that you didn't notice the seasons have changed? Well, you're not the one who will have to answer for it, so why should you care? Typical. So I feel like this is going to get us thrown out of the Abbey. I don't know what this guy's rank is, but he seems pretty high up, given the fact that he feels comfortable, like, glowering over everybody's shoulder. So I believe your point is made. Andreas, I will remind you that I am the master of this scriptorium, and you are merely a guest here. Oh, F off, guy. I agree, Brother Prior. Brother Piero's work is unacceptably slow. You are insufferable, Brother Guy. Oh, God, give me the patience to endure this. Please, everyone, this is my work, and I accept responsibility for it. Prior Ferenc is right. Okay, there's now 6 people in the scene. 7. Prior Ferenc, is this mine? It must be, yes? It is, my lord. I can No, no, I don't want excuses. I've come all this way, and I have to be honest, I expected more. It's nowhere near finished, and the style is, well, it's very old-fashioned. I thought I had made my desires clear. I feel like my generosity towards Kiersau is being taken advantage of. Am I the fool in this sad story?
No, of course not, my lord. Fleur?
Never. Wow. Okay, I'm glad that they corrected that.
Never. We can fix this, of course. Of course. We only want to accommodate you.
Ah, Andreas, good to see you again. How should I respond to this? The abbot already seems annoyed. So Beatrice says, just nod, don't irritate him, which I had strongly thought about doing it. Simply addressing him as my lord would be appropriate, and greet him by his Christian name, you are brothers and comrades in art, heh. I think just saying my lord. It acknowledges him respectfully without being overly familiar. Set aside, here's the thing, set aside the abbot, set aside anybody else in the room. The fact that this guy was moderately familiar with us earlier in the day doesn't mean that we're like best friends and we give him a high five every time we see him. This man is one of those people in society that is accustomed to commanding respect even when he's not actively commanding it. So I think that just saying my lord is probably the best way to go. Father Gernot, why not have Andreas complete the rest of the illustrations? He's clearly capable.
Well, my lord, why not have Brother Guy complete it if speed is your concern?
No, I'm not talking about the script. That's fine. But the art, the illustrations. I want Andreas to do the others.
Of course. I mean, if Andreas is all right with it.
I feel like there's a lot of eyes on me right now. Here's the thing. But then again, we're taking his work away. Yeah, we're going to go with this because I feel like it's more in line with the character. Like, I personally would say, why don't we alternate pages? Brother Piero does the evens, I'll do the odds, we'll knock it out, it'll be great. But I do feel like our character sort of wants, like, Andreas wants to do what he wants to do.
Andreas, you would do well to remember who it is that is making the completion of this masterpiece possible.
Okay, now we'll say, if it takes off, I'll be delighted to complete the work. There we have it. I hope this allays your concerns, my lord. Excellent. By the way, Father Abbot, am I still welcome at your table for supper?
Naturally, my lord.
Wonderful. I'd like Andreas to join us. We've already spoken up about, like, wanting to do something else, and that got shut down pretty hard. I feel like if we continue to argue against things that we're being instructed to do, it'll come off as whining, and the consequences will escalate quickly. So we shall say nothing.
Well, that would be quite unusual.
Unusual or not, I doubt my good friend, the Prince Bishop, would deny additional guests at his table. What do you think?
I understand. Yes, you're right, of course.
Andreas may join us for supper. I look forward to it. Now watch my swagger.
You had this planned.
You must have put your hook in the Baron this morning when you ambushed him in town. This is beyond ridiculous. Listen to yourself.
Brother Prior, Andreas is not to blame for any of this. I am.
Yes, you are. And you've embarrassed me, the abbot and the abbey. Prior Ference is right, of course. No wonder we don't get more commissions. Guy, can you stop flattering the prior for 1 minute? Yeah, I feel like Andreas, it was hard enough for him to bite his tongue when the abbot was sitting right there. Well, he's not going to do it now because this guy's deciding. He just got invited to the boss's table to eat with them. I think that he's going to be feeling himself a little bit. If anyone is the embarrassment here, it's you, Ference.
Brothers!
Oh, that's Illuminati. Brothers. If you please, Sister Zenena and I would prefer it if you could keep the noise down. It sounds like Samson slaying the Philistines in here. Of course.
Get back to work, everyone.
Well, that was not wonderful, but there's nothing to be done about it now. I'll finish my work here and wash up the lavatorium for supper at the abbot's table. So, let me check our quest, because we did get paid. I should get the money to Clara. But I guess, like, I'm still going back there tonight, right? Like, we can give it to her then. And then... lunch is done. Lorenz invited me to the abbot's table. I'm not sure I'm welcome, but I can't refuse the invitation. I should wash up the lavatorium in the cloister and then join the brothers in the refectory. And I can't actually go to the left. Oh, Klaus is going to be annoyed that I'm missing dinner with the Druckers again. Well, but I mean, like, it's not my choice. Okay, so lavatorium is due left past the dormitory. All right. It's the church. Wait. So what's happening there is I'm pressing the back button, like the Mia calls it the clone button, copy button, and that's usually the map button on most things. Courtyard and lavatorium. All right, so it is right here. Oh, Y is the map button. That is not a common map button.
Andreas, I'm so glad you'll be joining us for supper, though the circumstances are unusual to be sure. I won't be able to speak with you, none of the brothers will, but it will be good to have you with us.
That's a shame. I always enjoy our talks.
Now, the same doesn't apply to you at the abbot's table. You can talk all you like. Though I wouldn't recommend it. Father de Abbot does not look kindly on idle chatter.
I don't think our Andreas cares about making a fool out of himself. I don't know. I wish you could take my place. I guess I could... Yeah, hold on. We're going to have the best food in the room. And he's a hedonist. So he's going to be, like, feasting and leave with a full belly full of, like, rich foods. Anyway, I'm sorry for how the prior treated you. It's not fair. It's humiliating.
Oh, no, my son. There's no need to worry about me or my pride. And we all need a taste of humility from time to time to keep our feet on this earth. No, Andreas, you are my pride. I cannot claim to have taught you much, but I am proud to have known you and your work. And when you leave all of us at the Kirsau Abbey behind, you can call upon your friend Lorenz, the Baron Rothvogel, to help you in your career.
Hold on. The thing is, he is slow. Like, I mean, if he was supposed to do it months ago, like, I don't know anything about this, but if everybody around him was assuming that he was going to be doing months, I am going to say there's nothing wrong with your style. It's not old just because a nobleman says so.
Don't trouble yourself over it. Time passes for us all, things change, the future will right over the present. You need not fear it, any of it, so long as you remain true to yourself and God. Now, I must hurry to the refectory to join my brothers. I will see you inside. I should probably change out of these paint-stricken clothes, though. Robes.
Okay, so I know it's probably super obvious, but I don't know where the meal is taking place. It's in the refectory, which is one of these doors. That's the large garden. Refectory.
Andreas, glad you could join us.
Thank you, my lord. Father Gurnet, Father Thomas, Prior Ference. I've already forgotten Matthew's voice.
Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God."
Oh, the Gospel of Matthew. Wonderful.
Jesus replied, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by flesh and blood, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I shall build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it."
Have you read Matthew much, Andreas? Not really.
I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on the earth will be loosed in heaven. And he ordered his disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah.
Whatever you bind on this earth will be bound in heaven. That reminds me, Father Gurnet, have you read anything by Martin Luther?
I can't say that I...
He has some incredible ideas about the church. Brilliant, I think.
My lord, is the meal to your liking? I believe I remember you enjoying our quail on your last visit.
The quail? My God, Father Abbot, the quail's fine, but don't you think Luther's ideas are worth discussing? He's talking about the future of the church, shaking things up in a way I don't think we've seen before. Father Thomas, you see value in his ideas, do you not?
My lord, I mean no offense, but I do not.
Brother Matthew, yes. How appropriate. What are your thoughts on Luther's attacks? On the church? Church's sale of indulgences. ...
Baron, please do not involve the other brothers in this conversation.
Fine, fine. What about Andreas? Certainly a man who attended the same university as Martin Luther can spare some thoughts on his work. I think we're going to go with this, but he's really put me in a difficult position. So Socrates says, why not join in a debate? So Socrates would be very debateful, so I like this. It may bring everyone closer to understanding truth. It would be wise to defer to the abbot's authority and decline. I need to be quiet, or to hell with the abbot. If he can't handle a little criticism, he isn't fit to sit at a fancy table. I don't think our Andreas would defer to the abbot's authority. Because the abbot will be furious with me, that's why. I don't know. Wow, look, every single person in the room is looking at Andreas right now. So here's the thing. Again, it comes to, like... I don't think that being a hedonist means that you have to be, like, an asshole about it, and... He's a young guy, though. So, like, I, as an adult, very much would not want to engage in this conversation. Every single person in the room believes something other than what Martin Luther has to say about this, or even if they don't believe it, they're not... Like, 2/3 of the room aren't allowed to talk at all. So it's not like this is a fair debate. It's not going to be an even exchange of ideas. But does our Andreas understand that? I don't think he does. I think that it's not true to the character to respect the Father Abbot's wishes at the table. Ah, debate. Excellent. Why not start with the 95 Theses? A list of propositions against the Church's practice of selling indulgences for the remission of sin. It was written in 1517 by Martin Luther. Yeah, so, again, I don't know history and I don't know religion. I'm bad at all of this. But my understanding is that the Church was, and probably still is right now at this particular moment, selling the idea of getting into heaven by just like, you give me money with me being the Church, and I'll put in a good word for you with God. And in that way, you can basically just get away from it. Hello to Jody K, who says you're back. Yes, we are. Wait, were we offline for a bit? Did it cut out?
Enough! Andreas, you should know better. Lord Rothvogel, you are our guest and held in high esteem, but you have worn out my patience. You will not be discussing Luther's work with Andreas, Thomas, Matthew, or with any other brother. Is that clear? I suppose, Father, it is your abbey, but you're taking too much offense at this, and you're far too afraid of change. Whether it's from Luther or someone else, reform is coming to the Church. You had better accept it. What? Look at the splatters around that. Neither you nor Martin Luther dictate change to the Holy Church on their whim. This talk is beyond insulting. It's blasphemous, outrageous. How dare you? I see. I have overstepped my bounds, and I suppose I've ruined everyone's supper. My apologies. There we go. Spelled correctly now. In spite of this unpleasantness, I will make good on my manuscript payment and the donation of my copy of Historia Taciae. If you cannot accept what the future will bring, perhaps it's time for you to come to terms with your past. Well, no need to overstay my welcome. Fathers, brothers, Andreas, good night. Oh yeah, Jody K was saying from this morning. Yes, back from this morning. Why, Andreas? Why did you engage him? I expect better of you. Now then, I must ask you to leave so I can speak to the brothers in the chapter privately. Brother Piero, please accompany Andreas out. I will take my leave as well. Good night. Don't worry about Father Gernert and the Baron. I'm sure it will all be fine by morning. I hope Father Abbot can see that the Baron's heart is in the right place, even if he picked the wrong time to express himself. I really don't think he will, though. Like, he knows the Abbot better than I do, and better than Andreas does. But it really feels unlikely that the dude who's saying, you know what really needs to be completely overhauled? The church that y'all believe in. That doesn't seem like it's going to go over very well. Maybe it would, but yeah, that seems unlikely. It may be so, but we must never lose hope. In any case, I do hope the Baron respects the Abbot's wishes for the rest of his stay, and for everyone's sake. Brother Piero, what do you think of Martin Luther's ideas? That is for the younger and wiser men than me to decide. I am just a monk, thank God. Good night, my son. An awkward supper. I should get some sleep. So, yeah, let's head back to town. There's a lamp still burning at the guest house. Lorenz must still be awake. I wonder how he's doing. And what was he thinking? He's a baron, but he couldn't have expected that to go well. The storm doesn't seem to be letting up anytime soon. I should get back to the Gertners.
Well, I mean, are we supposed to go check on him? Like, you know what I would not do, though? I would not go to, like, the Baron after supper, like, after that huge blow-up. For all I know, he's in a bad mood, and he's gonna get us fired. It was Andreas. Andreas was the one who said to do it. Huh?
Gah!
Are you all right, Master Maller? Yeah, so we're into the occult. So we're going to say this. I believe that I may have just seen the physical manifestation of a spirit. A ghost. Yes? It could be a Roman, maybe even an old pagan. Wouldn't be the first time people have seen ghosts around these here parts. Have you ever seen one? Mm-hmm. Usually around the ruins. Who knows how many restless Romans lie beneath these stones? Well, I think I found Johann's last lost sheep. I'm gonna head home. Take care, Master Mahler. You too. Let's just say goodnight. I want to say his name. Jody was asking if the sheep was farting. I did not notice, one way or the other. We've never seen this map before, so I'm... Oops. So I'm on the second page. I'm on the right page, and I'm trying to get back to the Gertner farm. So I guess I could go through the woods or not. I feel like he'd be adventurous, I think, to go through the forest. There's a jackalope back there. Most of this felling is for the Abbey's renovations and firewood. The town can only gather sticks. Oh, Jody K was saying that it was... Hold on, Amelie is saying, ah, no! Pale horse, still on the floor. Probably just remain silent. Matins, the pale horse, death. Hold on, what is matins? Monastic hour corresponding to 2 a.m. It's used for the night prayer. Oh, but Jody K was saying that the grass looked like sound lines coming out of the goat.
Sister, listen to my voice. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Yes. Yes, Father, I hear you. Am I here? Is this now?
Yes, you are with us, and this is now.
I apologize, Andreas. I imagine that must have been quite alarming. Is she all right?
She is, yes.
Sister Amelie is a mystic, gifted with visions when God sees fit to give her one. Some are more frightening than others. Does she live in the church? Also, is she walled in?
She lives there, yes.
I'm a little surprised you haven't noticed her before. If you came to Mass more often, you would see that I give her communion through a window to her cell. The way that, like, without further information, mental illness would have been treated in ages past it's just a source of horror. Her cell.
She is an anchoress,
A religious hermit so devoted to God that she has enclosed herself in a cell next to the church. She is dead to the world, but continues a life of prayer and religious contemplation. And sometimes, ever so rarely, she receives great and terrible visions. Is she local to Tassing, or was she a nun at Kiersau? Neither. She came here from a Benedictine abbey in Lower Bavaria after it burned down. I am her confessor and caretaker. Many anchoresses are not literate. I write down her visions to help interpret them. I thought all the monks and nuns at Kiersau could read, even poor brother Volkbert. Volkbert is that guy who we've not met before. Thank you, Father Thomas. I must rest now. Thank you, Father Thomas. I must rest now. So her script also changed. It must have to do with, like, what class of, like education they have, maybe? Of course, sister. She seems unhappy. She is not unhappy, but she is in pain, both physical and spiritual. Her spiritual pain comes from her revelations. They come and go. I try to address them as best I can. The physical pain comes from a deformity in her spine and aching in her joints. I know of no cure for that save prayer to the Almighty. Sister Amelie was saying she had a vision of death. Could somebody be in danger? Oh, no, don't rush to judgment. Her visions are divine and powerful, but they could have many meanings. Some of her revelations take years to comprehend. Some may never be understood at all, as God wills it. Still, the argument at dinner was quite troubling. Perhaps it has cast a shadow over our thoughts. Now then, the good sister appears to have fallen back to sleep. I must prepare for bed myself. Good night, Andreas. Good night, Father. Father, what's-his-face, seems very self-satisfied. So are we close to home, do you think? Okay, no, not yet, but we are getting there. Jody K, I'm curious if you have played this. Okay, we're close. The Gertner farm, yes. Hello to Patikin. Oh, Patikin! Thank you so much for the raid. Patikin, how was Power Wash Simulator? Jody K was closing an extra tab. Patikin saying, how come I don't see emotes on your message, Jody K? Is it just me? I see them. Oh, no, actually, Patikin, I don't see them on Jody K's. And Jody K has not played this. Jody K, sorry, Maxine is thinking maybe the sub has expired. And yes, Mia is welcoming all the raiders as well. Hello to everybody. We are checking out Pentiment for the first time. It looks like this. It looks like, I don't know what era this is, but this style is sort of like artwork, if not animation. They probably didn't have a lot of animation back then. Okay. This is where I'm going to sleep, right? Yes. I wanted to give the money to Clara, but apparently I can't wake up that person. Okay, I guess I'll have to give it to them tomorrow. Hopefully their taxes aren't due today. Okay, we already looked at that, and we should really clean that up. There's no point in my life where I didn't think that a sleeping cap was odd. Time to get back to work. Oh, wait. What's complean? Monastic hour corresponding to 8 p.m., one of the little hours of prayer. The monks and nuns retire to their dormitories shortly afterward. Wah! I can't move, by the way. This is just sort of like playing out. Shh. It's all right, Ursula. What happened could be anything. Like she wasn't allowed to hold her toy. She got a splinter. It could be anything. So what happened, I feel like is, you know, she's a little kid. Little kids cry sometimes. Do you need any help? No, a little crying won't hurt her. Besides, I think we've gotten almost all the leaks now. Ursula's my first child, and she's been a handful, but I think I have the hang of it now. Big Jorg has been a godsend. He helped Christine with Eva when she was a baby. I never took you for a family man, Andreas. I have 2 older brothers, both married, so there are plenty of nieces and nephews for me to play uncle to. Also, Jody K gets more channel points for joining a raid and never clicks not to join. Maxine is saying that she has enough already. Jody K says more is always better. Christine's saying I need to make a challenge too so you can spend them. Yeah, I'd like to think of a good challenge as well. I appreciate the offer. You'll make a fine husband someday, Andreas. Oh, when will this storm let up? It's been going all morning. Peter and Jorg are outside trying to deal with the flooding as best they can. Is the farm in danger? I feel like that's more important than the abbey. There's always a danger with this much rain, but we've lived through worse. Whatever happens, it will be as God wills it. We must have faith in providence and endure what is to come. Oh, I have some food for you. And I have some cash for you. Like, that's why we're here. Was that an envelope of food? Here, sorry I couldn't prepare anything more. Didn't Otto ask me to say hello? He's probably courting her. Okay, I'm glad that he remembered that. Be a good friend to him and just tell her. Yes. They'd probably be happy together. Yes, let's do it. Oh, did he? Haha. Good. Thank you. Patina is saying that there's probably more to do with points on his channel than here. That's probably true. I have trouble thinking of good things to do with the channel points. Have a good day at the Abbey, Andreas. Try to stay dry. Thanks, you too. Good luck. Be good, Ursula. Where did I go? What is this? I didn't give her my money yet.
Andreas?
I didn't see that the wall was broken. Is that from the flood?
It is. Must have just broken in the night. Some of our sheep escaped. We'll have to track them down later. This is the way it always is. Rain falls on the Abbey and rolls downhill to us little people.
Well, it's hard to blame the Abbey for that. That's just how rain works.
There's a reason we're down here and they're up there, Andreas. Anyway, I'll have to get back to this. See you later.
No, hold on. We have to give her the rent money. I should get the money to Clara. Yeah, hold on. I had to go back in here. Hello, Andreas. Hello, Clara. I have something for you. Oh? This should be enough to pay my rent and the tax you owe to the Abbey. Andreas, this is far more than your rent payment. We can't accept this. I mean, this. Let's go with this one. I insist. It's enough to pay back the abbot, yes. It is, but Andreas, how did you even get so much coin? Are you sure you'll have enough to spare? Yeah, let's just tell her. I convinced Brother Matthew to pay me a bit early. I wanted to be sure you could pay your taxes in time. God bless you 1,000 times, Andreas. You don't know what this means to us. I don't think that he is too dedicated to what is and is not Christian if he's a hedonist. So it's probably best not to mention it. Of course, I won't mention it to anyone. Still, thank you. I'll let you move on with your day. God bless you. Until later. Okay, so now we've done that quest. The weather's awful, but I still have to get to the scriptorium. Hopefully tempers have calmed down since last night.
Hello, Andreas.
Good morning, Andreas. So, Otto and Eva, huh?
Yes, what about them?
Otto has a good eye. I can't fault him for that.
I guess. She's a good, strong-willed woman. I'm not a gossip, Andreas.
I do not ask to pour water onto the rumor mill, but for the concern I have for the happiness of my friends. Yeah, let's hit it. I like that.
Of course, Andreas. Fancy talk for being nosy. Well, if you ask me, I think Otto's being a bit too slow about it.
Oh?
He's old enough already not to be smitten like a boy. They both like each other. Seems to me you found the right person. You should go for it. It's what I would do.
This seems a little bit forward. Like, if you're such an expert, where's your wife? Also, for all we know, like I know this... Actually, I don't know if this would be a touchy subject at the time. It is not clear to me when homosexuality has or has not been a problem in human history. It feels like a lot of the issues that people have are not necessarily firmly rooted throughout a lot of different eras or cultures in human history. So I guess I'll just go with what stopped you, because I feel like this is presuming a lot that, at least with my 21st century's eyes, I wouldn't want to presume.
Well, that's, personal.
So, again, if somebody says something's personal, I'm trying to, like, sometimes separate what I would do versus what Andreas would do. But again, don't be an asshole, okay? So, I don't want to continue to push him. If he says it's personal, let's just back off. It's not our business. It's something that he doesn't want to discuss. We're to marry once we finished my wander years, which I don't know how to say, but that's what that is. I'm not even sure if she's the right one, but it is a necessary step.
It's not good for the soul to be alone, Andreas. I, do hope to find someone to have at my side as we build a family. God has not given me the blessing.
It could happen at any moment.
One hopes so. I must get back to work, Andreas. Enough talk.
Until later. Jody K is saying Christianity made it bad again. And this is a very Christian time and place. So it might be a big deal to them. The bakery. We've not been up here before. God be with you, Andreas. Seems like we have a good spring storm, though I hope it lets up soon. Let's not be a whiner. Good morning, I'm sure it'll let up soon. As God wills it. Ulrich, I paid Gret for last week's pumpernickel. Sorry to make you wait for it. I really like pumpernickel bread, by the way. That's one of my favorite flavors. There's many good types of bread, sourdough and so forth, but yeah, pumpernickel's really good. It's no trouble at all. Please say hello to Lucky for me. I don't think that we know Lucky. There he is. We'll have to remember him later. Of course, now I'm off home, then for the Pfeiffers. What's going on at the Pfeiffers? Helena has about a month to go before her child is due. Her last one was hard. He didn't make it, God rest his soul. I just want to give her the best chances she can have.
It's in God's hands. Trust in Providence.
Always, Ulrich, but I'll do what I can to help. Why make the Lord do all the work? I must be off now. Good day to you both. And Andreas, stay out of the rain. I feel like Andreas would consider it, I don't get the sense that he himself is particularly religious, at least the way that we've been playing him. So I'm not sure that tell Helena I will pray for her health. It's a polite thing to say, but it also feels disingenuous, and I don't think that he's into disingenuous. Can I go into the bakery?
God bless you, Andreas.
When people have nothing to say to you, they just announce that God should bless you. Hi! Andreas, such a pleasure to see you, and looking so handsome as always. Back for more of my rye. I was passing by and thought I should say hello. Now I must say goodbye. Aren't you a good man? Well, you're always welcome here, Andreas. And always welcome to my rye. Be well. Until later, Gret. Among other things, I'm not sure that I can afford rye. Like, we just took an advance on our pay to be able to afford... Hold on. Yeah, it looks like we really want to head east. We're definitely going to pet Schlau. Some of the little animation touches are really fun. Jody K saying, rye. I'm trying to think if there's a flavor of bread that I don't like. Like, rye isn't one of my favorites, but I like it just fine. Oh, there's Lucky.
Father, I've said this before, but it isn't good that the water drains here so quickly. It's affecting the foundation. It needs to be looked at.
I understand, but if you dig here, you may be disturbing the bodies decomposing in the yard.
Of course, Father, but they're gonna be dug back up again anyway.
Yes, but why disturb them unnecessarily?
It's your church, Father, but you can't put this roof forever. The foundation is gonna crack.
I understand. Perhaps after some of the bones have been moved to the is that just ossuaries? Is that two S's? I don't know what that third character is. Thank you, Lucky. Good day, Master Mahler. Good day, Father Thomas. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. Oh, worry not. Lucky was just reminding me of the danger a severe rainfall can pose to the foundation. God looks after his flock, I assume this is? Yes. But sometimes the pen requires an earthly hand. It will be taken care of. God be with you, Andreas. And with you, Father Thomas, until later. Wait, Meadow. Yeah, rye bread, whole wheat bread, pumpernickel, sourdough, white. I feel like there's more that I've really liked. A shrine to St. Moritz, the statue looks ancient. Well, I mean, as much of the statue as we can see. Hello there, Master Mahler. Hello, Till. Bumped into any ghosts lately? Not since we last spoke. Good, good. Have you ever seen a nicer view? Don't get sights like this in the cities, I expect. I can't say that Nuremberg has many Roman ruins. Oh, yes. Tassie is full of them. Quite the marvels they are. I don't pay much attention to the writing on them, but as I can't read Latin myself, but you might enjoy giving them a look. If you do, you'll have to tell me if they match the old legend I read about. What sort of old legends?
Well, when Father Matthias was an abbot, he would let me borrow books from the abbey's library. I think I read through half of that library before Father Gernot became abbot. Oh, look, he's more educated now. He's got a more fancy script. He and Father Thomas are strict about which books should be read now. Books should glorify God, they say, not discuss the old pagan ways. Still, the accounts of the Romans in Tassing are my favorite. That old book talked about how the Roman knight Gaius Metellus defeated the Reti, I think it was. Heavy snowfall had him caught in this very valley. Barbarians on all sides when Mars, yeah, the Roman god of war and agriculture. Mars represented civilization and peace through military might. Maxine has to turn in soon. Maxine, if you're turning in, I hope you have a great evening. Jody K says, I've had this computer since August. I've been annoyed that there wasn't a hotkey for volume. Just now annoyed that I haven't found the home key yet either, and I noticed the volume is function up and down. And now I found home and end on the 7 and 1 on the 10 key, like the number pad. I'm glad that you found that functionality, Jody. It's really good to know like how to manually adjust things like volume and stuff. Or quickly adjust it. Mara sent a wolf to the night. Instead of killing the beast, Gaius followed it to a magic spring with trees covered in all sorts of fruit. Mars provided the wolf with this and the spring, and Gaius Metellus founded Tassling after defeating the barbarians to honor Mars. That's where all this came from. Yeah, let's go with that. Sounds a lot like the story Brother Matthew told me about St. Moritz without the Roman gods. I hadn't thought of that. Both were snowed into this valley, weren't they? And saved near a spring. I wonder if it's the same story. Oh, I don't know about all that, Master Mahler. A lot of stories get mixed up over the years. It might be all fable, but I enjoy the story all the same. It's nice to feel you're connected to those who came before you, even if it's only by the land you live on. I like this for our Andreas. I'd rather look forward to new opportunities, but I do see the value in looking back. To each his own, I suppose. It's been a good chatting with you, Master Mahler, but I'd better get back to work. You let me know if you find any particularly good books in that library, all right? I will. Until later, Till. Martin? Get a friendly greeting from Martin. I'm not going to get a friendly meeting, because I told him to help his family, so this is not going to happen. Eat shit, Andreas! Achoo! I should get to the scriptorium. Gernot will give me an earful if I'm late again. Literally just said, hey, maybe you could help your sister and whatever. The figures in the shrine to St. Christopher are quite nice. St. Christopher, one of the 14 holy helpers. St. Christopher is invoked as protection against the plague and to safeguard travelers. Well, I just got sneezed on, so that'd probably be helpful. He is often pictured as a large man with a staff carrying the child Jesus on his back across a swollen river. Maxine really dislikes laptop keyboards. Always has to go searching for home and end keys, insert in space, page up and page down. Yeah, there's never been a laptop that I've used that I didn't have to, like, figure out how it worked. God be with you, Andreas. Are you still preparing to leave, even with this weather? The weather is unfortunate, but the Baron's wife, Lady Salamea, will be arriving today. My lord intends to depart... Oh, that's right, I forgot this guy. He's the, like, manservant. My lord intends to depart as soon as she arrives. How long have they been married? 7 years now. She's a fine woman, a true lady. I was hoping to bid farewell to the Baron before he leaves. I'm sure he would appreciate that. He spoke highly of you before he went to bed. He was glad you were willing to debate him at supper, even though he's sure the abbot will hold it against you. I just love arguing, honestly. Well, then you and the Lord may have much in common. Okay, so I have a lot of favor from Lorenz Rothvogel. Would it be fair to say that I found the Baron's favor? Yes. It would. My lord bade me give you a token of his friendship in his absence. He says it's a small thing compared to the future commissions, but he hopes that you will wear it with pride. What an extraordinary pin. Please thank the Baron for me. Again, hedonism. He wants to show off. Like, I'll wear it right now. He earned it. As you wish, of course. Where's your master gone, then? Oh, look, he actually put it on. You can see it right on the front of his, front center of his tunic or whatever. He went for a walk early in the morning. He didn't say when he'd be back. I hope he returns soon. The rain is turning everything to mud. My lord might surprise you, Andreas. He never minds getting mud in his boots. Of course, I'm the one who has to clean them. Yeah, let's let this guy get out of the rain such that he can. I apologize. It's no trouble, and many thanks. Until next time, Andreas. Oh, and one thing before you go. Did you see a short, surly-looking young man in a hat on your way up this morning? Well, that was Martin Bauer. Like, I don't know why I wouldn't share that. Martin sucks. What's the button to look at this? Yeah, that kid. He ran past me in the meadows as I was walking up the hill. He was in quite a hurry. Ah, that would explain my lord's missing rings. What rings are these? 1 gold, 1 silver, a handful of golden, and a book the Baron was planning to give to the abbey. A book? Historia Taciae? I believe so, yes. I went to pack the Baron's things and they were missing. Let's go with why do you think Martin stole the rings? Yesterday I caught the boy with the hat, Martin I suppose, peering in through the windows. True, he was doing that. We saw him too. I could have admonished him at the time, but, well, he seemed harmless. That's a shame. I hope the Baron won't be too put out. Dude, he stole a whole bunch of his stuff. Set aside the money, that book might have been... That book seems very rare from what we've been learning. My lord is a man of some means. He won't miss the gold or the rings. I do think he'll be upset about the book. He was quite excited for the abbot to see it. In any case, I must finish preparing the horses. It was good talking to you, Andreas. Of course, I hope this rain lets up for you soon. God willing. Until next time. Until then. Now I too shall get out of the rain. What's this? Oh, right, we went to the shrine yesterday. And now no one's here. Also, I did see that one of the negatives was that we had complained about being late for work. I didn't think of it as complaining. I thought of it as just, like, letting them know. Well, we didn't go into the main church ever, I don't think. Loquarium. The cloister. The crypt. The tower, which is locked off. Dormitory. Old Bailey. Oh, you can get all the way in here. Look at this. We got it all the way to the Old Bailey already. Maxine has to turn in. Maxine, have a great night. Oh, this is wonderful. The rest of the abbey is soaked and there's not a drop of rain in here. Good thing the abbot had Otto replace the roof to the scriptorium and library last month. With the
calefactory next door. We can stay warm while everyone else is cold and wet. A communal warming room in monasteries. Calefactories are usually attached to the cloister, but in Kirsau, it is part of the old abbey and therefore connected to the old scriptorium. It keeps the monks warm and the library dry. I wonder what the construction of that was. Just like a big furnace.
Instead of bragging about our good fortune, you should think upon your brothers and sisters and pray for their health and safety.
The abbot's foresight saved a lot of our work and protected what's in the library. The town hasn't fared as well.
I'm sure they'll be fine. More importantly, if they're not, I don't care. Brother Guy, your heart is harder than the stone of this floor.
Huh. We have the grumpy old monk, but where's the nice one? Brother Piero? Haven't you seen him yet today?
I did, before Brother Guy arrived. Brother Piero left to speak to the abbot some time ago.
What? Why is Matthew ringing the bell? It can't be Terrace already.
I pray it stops soon. Such a cacophony is an assault on my frail ears.
Jody casing they're penning the Book of Kells. I'm not familiar with that. Is that like a Dune reference or something? What's the Book of Kells?
It's not stopping. I suppose this means we're being summoned to the chapter house. God, give me the strength to endure the rain.
It's 50 feet, old man. You'll live.
God, give me the strength to endure this man.
It's still not stopping. What's going on? This can't all be because of the storm. I should see what's the matter. So I'm sorry, where specifically am I headed? I'm in the scriptorium, so I guess I don't know where I'm going yet. Oh, is this the calefactorium? Just a big furnace. Yeah, Maxine, have a great night. I have no idea where the bell is rung from. This has a big tower on it. That sounded like a scream coming from the cloister. So oh no, I'm in the scriptorium. How did I... Sorry, I don't know why I came back in here. Wait, is this... I'm sorry, which cloister was it? Because this is the cloister. Was it the old cloister? No, the old Bailey. Oh, the chapter house, I guess, is where we're going. Hold on a second. Brother Matthew rang the church bells early, and now one of the sisters is screaming in the chapter house. I should go see what's going on. Wait, I went to the wrong place. Coming from the chapter house. I don't know where the chapter house is. There's people screaming. Okay, it's further over here. Okay, I can't talk to Sebhat. Sebit? I don't know. Are we going to barge in and yell what's happened? Or maybe we should just remain silent. Someone has a knife in them.
Please, Father, where is Brother Florian? Have him come quickly.
Be silent, brother. Brother Florian, if you please. I'm sorry, Father. There's nothing to be done. He's dead. Ugh! I'm not gonna scream into the mic. But he was like, all the screaming.
Sister Margaret, calm yourself.
Sister Gertrude, please take Sister Margaret back to the garden. Yes, Mother Cecilia. Here we go.
God protect us. The Baron was a friend of the Prince Bishop of Friesing.
Why is he so worried about the Prince Bishop?
This abbey is odd in more than one way. Its existence offends some in the church.
We are far enough from Rome and Mainz that everyone forgets about us, but this could bring unwanted attention. Mainz is located on the Rhine River, home of the Archbishop of Mainz. Okay. We can get our history lesson later.
Florian, how easily do you think you could dispose of this body?
Father Abbot, what are you saying?
Why are you questioning me? Why are you wasting precious time? Do you want to see the soldiers of the Prince Bishop march up our steps and fling your brothers and sisters out of our home?
Okay, many people are talking.
Silence! Quiet!
Calm yourself, all of you. Father Abbot, Baron Rothvogel's manservant is already preparing to leave. The Baron's wife should be here in a matter of hours. This is not the time for rash decisions.
Yes, you're right. Forgive me.
But then, what will we do? We must send the Baron's men to the court of the Prince Bishop in freezing at once.
Mother Cecilia, the Baron said the Prince Bishop's archdeacon was in Innsbruck for the Imperial Diet.
Even better, swift action will silence any whispers of impropriety on our part. Given the Baron's stature, the archdeacon will undoubtedly come to investigate immediately. We must cooperate with him fully and pray for a speedy resolution.
Yes, good. Thank you, Mother Cecilia.
Brother Woslav, please detain Brother Piero in the cellar until the Prince Bishop's man arrives. Why? Why Brother Piero? Yeah, I have questions. Hello to Marquak. Marquak, I hope that your Saturday has gone well. We're checking out, Pentiment for the first time. I don't know why they're locking him up. Did he confess? Because otherwise, look at the man's hands. He can barely hold a quill. He stabbed this guy. He stabbed a man a half his age in the back with that knife and then waited around to be discovered. Then again, I am currently treating it like a video game. I mean, like, maybe there are multiple witnesses to what happened. I don't know.
He was caught in flagrante delicto, covered in blood with a knife in his hands.
Was he? Because the knife was in the body when I saw it. In blazing offense, indicating an individual has been caught in the act of committing a crime. Father, do you really believe that Brother Piero is capable of such a foul deed? And I mean, like, physically.
Yes! Capable enough when motivated by anger. I had no anger against the Baron, Father Abbot. I simply came across him like this. No anger, not even for insulting your work and forcing us to give it to Andreas.
This is not a subject for debate. When the Prince Bishop's man arrives, we must not be empty-handed. Okay, so, like, when I'm saying this into the microphone, it does feel like the dialogue choice we should choose. He's not physically capable of the act. Also, he wasn't angry. Anyone who was in the scriptorium knows that. Even Guy knows that. So, I mean, both of these are true. I feel like the physical infirmity is just so obvious. So let's go with he wasn't angry. Anyone who is in the scriptorium knows that. And he spoke to me at length about it.
Be quiet. This is none of your affair.
Yeah, I don't think that our Andreas would ask for forgiveness. It is my affair if you're going to make me part of Brother Piero's supposed motive.
I am through debating this with you. My decision stands. Brother Woslav will detain Brother Piero in the cellar until I say otherwise. Brother Florian, please escort Andreas out of the abbey. Andreas, do not show your face here again until tomorrow. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Andreas, listen to me. I sympathize with you. I don't think Piero did this either, but this isn't the time to push the abbot. I'm sure the other brothers and sisters believe Piero is innocent as well, but the abbot is worried about the Prince Bishop's attention.
I can't let Piero die for something that he didn't do. Like, our Andreas is a passionate guy. He's not going to say if you have any recommendations. That's what I would say. But our Andreas is a passionate guy. I have to do something. I can't let Piero die for something that he didn't do.
I appreciate your passion, but if you pursue this indelicately, you could make matters worse. Take a few hours to calm your nerves and your mind. You need this. You need to think clearly. Go to the Druckers, eat a good meal, and come back at Nuns, which I think is probably noon. Oh, 3 p.m., one of the little hours of prayer. We won't have much time, but tap on my window with a small stone and I'll let you in. Let me in for what? To examine the body.
I should follow Florian's advice and go to the Druckers. Hopefully it will clear my head. I will agree with Jab. I'm glad that they like chilled out with the animal noises, because if anybody was here for like the first, I think probably like 20 minutes, just the fields were alive with the sound of bleating. Hello, Master Mahler. I guess you don't have anything to say to me about what you've been up to this morning. Those bells sure are loud, though. Okay, as always, I'm looking for the Drucker house, which is actually right here. And I guess the Druckers isn't like a... Oh, it is a family home. Good day, Andreas. Back from the Abbey already. It's only noon. Andreas, are you all right? No, something terrible's happened. Among other things, I'm just like... If there's to be a murder, I want to be as forthright with people as possible about what's happening, because in a situation like this, the more secretive you are, the more suspicious you look as the out-of-towner who's here on contract and might just be a crazy person for all they know. Jody K is asking for the sound of music. No, this was the opposite of music. This was just cows and chickens just having a grand old time, shouting into the sunrise. Something terrible has happened. My God, what happened? No, forgive me. Come inside and sit down for a minute. I could use a distraction. I have just the thing, then. I'd like your opinion on my latest project. It's a robot that can see through time. It will help you solve the murder. Good day, Andreas. Should I fix you a plate? So I'm very hungry, but I can't translate that onto Andreas. I'm going to say that I don't have much of an appetite right now. That's a shame, but I'll fix you a plate anyway in case it comes back. Hello. Nod politely. Yes, the sound of cacophony. That works well, Jody K. I'm going to do a new run of Till Eulenspiegel. It was a printing a few years ago in Strasbourg, but it was awful, almost bereft of illustrations. What do you think of these new ones? See, I don't feel like the background is quite dense and busy. I like it. Thank you. I'll be sure to let Marie know. Are these her woodcuts? They are. The drawings were mine, but she did the block cuts. Also, so when, like, I bet, like, this is something Marquardt knows. When was it? I was just sort of assuming that, like, when we've been talking about scriptoriums and so forth, it didn't occur to me that the printing press had been developed. Like, the ability to mass produce texts. That suddenly makes everything make a lot more sense. I've got enough talent to draw the designs, but only she can do the woodcuts and the type. Bless us, O Lord, and these your gifts, for which we are about to receive from your bounty. Through Christ our Lord, amen. Amen. I'm hungry. Amen. Jody K saying woodblock printing in China dates back to the 9th century. How about like in Europe, for example? Like when would it have been coming up here? Gutenberg is credited with inventing the printing press around 1436. Oh, so that was like 100 years before this. This is what, 15 something? Yeah, see, like, this is me. Like, I know that certain events occurred in history, but have never been good enough at history to, like, remember when they occurred. Andreas, what were the bells for at the abbey? They were sounding for a long time. The visiting nobleman, Lorenz Rothvogel, was found murdered in the chapter house. God in heaven, he just rode by here yesterday. Yes, and it gets worse. One of the elderly brothers I work with in the scriptorium, Piero, was accused of the crime. That's awful. A murder in Kirsau? How could a monk do such a thing? I'm sorry, Andreas. The Baron seemed like an interesting man, and I know he's been a patron of the Abbey for years. How did he die? Could it have been an accident? And does the abbot really believe that Brother Piero killed him? You've always spoken of him in the kindest terms. So, word is probably going to get out and around, but it feels, first of all, there's a little kid at the table, and we don't want to be like Mia and share stories about blowjobs and steak days around the youngins, right? So maybe we'll spare them the details here and also help to limit the spread of information so that we can... I knew she was here. But yeah, no, we're going to keep this to ourselves, and like, there's literally no reason to believe that these people would have had anything to do with it at all. But it would be interesting to see how more people come to discover, oh, I can't believe he was stabbed like that. But no, I can't believe Piero did it. I can't imagine him harming anyone. Oh, don't hold back on my account. I've had children and even helped Agnes deliver a few. I'm not squeamish. Right, but again, there's a little kid at the table. Yes, blood! What if it wasn't Brother Piero? Who do you think could have done it? I did see Lucky Steinauer get into a shouting argument with Lorenz yesterday just before I walked by your place. Oh, that's right. I mean, I didn't think it was a shouting match because we didn't overhear anything, but they exchanged words.
Lucky? Why would he have cause to shout at a nobleman?
Hold on, I'm gonna have some food. Can I have these chips? Egg pasta? Yes.
Nom 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 nom.
There's probably something else going on that you wouldn't know about, dear. What do you mean by that? I'm not one to trade gossip, but if you really want to know, talk to some of the other women in town. Or Mother Cecilia up at the abbey. No, why would we nod thoughtfully? Any information you have, Maria, would be very helpful. Why Mother Cecilia? I didn't realize she saw much of Tassing.
Oh, there's no need for that. Lucky is a forthright man. I'm sure if you ask him, he'll tell you what the argument was about.
Thank you both. That's good advice. There's something else, though. When Lorenz and I were walking through the meadow, the widow Kemperin came out of the woods and... Did she? Hold on, let me remember this, because this has all been one session. We're still in episode 1. I'm honestly trying to remember this. I feel like I almost remember this.
Yes?
Well, she cursed him. Oh, that's right. Yep. She came up from the bottom of the thing, and she was just like, she had the bow and arrow in her hands and was like, you son of a bitch. I'm not surprised. Ottilia's late husband, Rennig, ran afoul of Lorenz on his last visit to Tassing. I don't remember the details, but Rennig died just last year, and Ottilia hasn't been the same since. Can I have some more of that pasta? No, apparently we're going to leave some for the kid. Let's have some sausage.
Shield. Wow.
Sorry, that caught me off guard. And it's not the first curse that we've run across, just the barb.
She always was an old bitch, even before she was old.
Klaus, that's enough. She's had to deal with a Job's lot in life. And now she lives all alone at the edge of the woods. There are rumors she's going to lose her property soon.
I do pity her, even if she is a bit... ... bitter woman. There should be some exception in the law for her to inherit.
Yeah, okay, so this is an example of when our legal background could be coming up. When it's actually a topic of conversation, not showing off like, oh, I went to law school, you know. Women are not legally barred from inheriting. It all depends on the details of the lease. Did she come from a wealthy family?
She did, in fact. Wealthier than Rennig's, anyway.
If the land they lived on was part of her dowry, she may make a case to lay claim to it, or make a case to lay claim to it or property of equal value. Well, are you a lawyer, Andreas?
Enough about Ottilia. Is there anyone else you think may have done it?
I don't know if he has any ill intent, but Prior Ference has been acting strangely since the day Lorenz arrived. So I don't have, I only met him on the day Lorenz arrived, so I would have said less strangely and more like he's just an asshole.
Perhaps an academic disagreement. I know they're both avid readers, both of classics and new works.
On his last visit, the Baron bought a book on astronomy from me. I know the Prior has some similar interests. But would the Prior kill someone over a simple disagreement? It's not that outlandish. When I was in university, I saw men throw punches over small academic concerns. What is an opinion for some is a testament of faith for others and worth killing for.
That may be so,
But I've never seen that sort of anger in Prior Ference, not even when Gernot was made abbot instead of him. Afterward, he seemed bitter, but never violent. That just doesn't seem to be a part of his character. So, Lucky, the widow, the Abbey Prior, anyone else? There was something strange when we approached the Abbey together. Mother Cecilia was outside with some of the sisters. Mother Cecilia scowled and took the nuns inside without saying a word.
Sounds like they have a history, at least.
1 bread, please. Just half of it. I do not know Mother Cecilia personally, but I've never heard anyone speak badly of her. If she had cause to dislike the Baron, I must believe she had good reason.
Well, Andreas, it looks like there's a lot to look into.
Thank you for your care. It's helped me understand how I can help Piero. Also, Jody K was saying, thanks to the printing press and the timely power of his message, Martin Luther became the world's first best-selling author. Luther's translation of the New Testament into German sold 5,000 copies in just 2 weeks. From 1518 to 1525, Luther's writings accounted for a third of all books sold in Germany, and his German Bible went through more than 430 editions. Also, Jody K had to tell Steam her birthday in order to look up this game. Sometimes it remembers at least the year and or month. Patikin saying, in browser it's fine for me because I use an extension that adds features and stuff to Steam site as an option not to ask for age anymore.
You're always welcome here, Andreas, anytime.
Yeah! You are especially welcome with this one.
God be with you, Andreas.
Thank you. Be good until I come back, Berthold. Or Berthold, it would probably be. I'll try. Oh, 2 days remain. Oh, until the Lord Bishop comes. I have several leads to follow, but where should I start? I could talk to Lucky Steinhauser. He's probably working in front of his house. The widow Kemperin lives south of here, near Franz Brauer. Prior Ferenc is usually at the scriptorium, but I won't be able to talk to him until tomorrow. Speaking of the scriptorium, I should really look at what Ferenc was writing in that book yesterday. Still, nothing would prevent me from talking to Mother Cecilia at the convent. But if I don't attend Brother Florian's examination of the body at the abbey, he'll have to do it without me. So I'm not a doctor. Remember, that was one of the options that we didn't take. What did I decide to do instead? Rhetoric? Yeah, that probably isn't going to be as helpful here. Okay, but I'm going to say that with this sort of like split off of like we can now go do 4 different things, that's probably going to be the... Oh, and you know what? If it was saved 57 seconds ago, that means that we'll get that summation again at the start of the next episode. So, Pentiment is a very interesting game. The art style is very heavily based in like a very specific history of like artistry that I don't know a lot about, don't have a lot of like personal attachment to, but I'm really enjoying a lot of the animation touches and the art style. It's not that I don't like it, it's just that it's like, oh, this looks interesting. I don't know a lot about the era or the artwork on which it's based. The fact that it's been put in here into this 2D animation style, I think looks great. The story has taken some time to get its feet under it, but as a result of that, we know a lot about the characters, the people involved in this, and have a good sense for what the stakes are. I forgot to mention at the start, I did look up on average how long this game is and how long to beat, and it looks like it's probably about 15 hours, which means for regular human beings, probably around 20, and this is about 3.5 hours in, so I'd say that it's at least worth another episode. I want to see how it goes, but we have a pretty good sense for the flow of it. Apologies for not having several dozen different voices for all of this like cast of thousands that we've got here. Jody K is saying this is very Book of Kells. Got to see Kells in person at Trinity University in Dublin in 2013. I'll have to look up Book of Kells. And then Patikin is saying boo on ending. I'm very glad that you guys were enjoying this. I noticed that Carol Luna stepped out. I'm not sure if that was just that he had something else to do or if he wasn't feeling it. Jab was like, I'm not sure if this is for me. The animal noises were really in your face at the beginning. I will share his thoughts on that, so I'm glad that they sort of like talked that down a little bit. Jody K is saying that you can view the Book of Kells online. They digitized it a few years ago, I think during the pandemic. I will be a very, like, I've seen artwork and like character design and like backgrounds similar to this. If you had asked me from like what part of the world or what era of human history this is from, I would have had no idea. It's so much like recognizing certain things as being like in a classical Japanese art style, but I wouldn't know any specific artist or like from what era of Japanese history it is, and indeed would run the risk of mistaking Japanese art for Korean art or Chinese art. Like, I'm not an art history major. I think that it's a very interesting topic. It's just not something that I happen to know very much about. I think that there's value in coming to a game like this from a position of comparative ignorance, because somebody who knows all about this era, knows, doesn't have to check the glossary for anything because they already know all about it. They're going to come to this with specific expectations and a level of knowledge, and may be very impressed by how true to actual history all of this is, how well versed it is, or they might be able to poke holes in it and stuff. I get to come from it from a position of relative ignorance. I just don't know that much about this. So how does the story play for me, somebody who I might argue is more representative of like an average gamer? Maybe not. Maybe everybody knows about this and I don't. But for those of us who don't know about this, how will the story and the unfoldings of the events like be handled? Like so far I feel like I'm like on board with the story. So what is true is that our next episode will be of Marvel Midnight Suns. We'll be continuing the Morbius DLC and then continuing on with the adventures of Act 3. And then I would expect this to be maybe revisited on Monday or Tuesday. It sort of depends on how the schedule goes. So let's go find somebody fun to raid, and we will see you guys again very shortly. I forgot to ask as we were going through if there were any issues with the sound or video, but I assume somebody would have spoken up if so. So let's go find somebody fun to raid, and hopefully we'll see you for episode 2 of Pentiment sometime on Monday. Until later, and thank you for hanging out as well to you, Hickey, Jody K, Patikan, Mia, thank you for the raids and so forth, and the shout outs, and we will see you again very soon. Until then, guys, I hope you have a great night.